Stay Tuned Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of two possibly intoxicated idiots watching the National Football League.
And hello, everybody. Welcome back once again to Stay Tuned Sports. I am your boy King, hanging out with you here on another beautiful Thursday evening as we're getting ready to watch the Minnesota Vikings take on the Los Angeles Rams on Thursday Night Football. It's great to have everybody here. Great to see you all. Thank you so very much for joining us here. If you're new, if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps us out tremendously. Give us a like, give us a share as well. That helps us tremendously. Also, going into the chat right now so I can go ahead and post our links. Yes, we have links over to our donation station. If you want to help us out more directly, we have a donation station where you can go ahead and donate some money to the show to help us out, to get us a little bit better, to help support us here on Stay Tuned Sports. Right now, the leader in the clubhouse is Pecan, who's donated $15, and he's got his name right down here in the ticker. You're going to see it coming up here soon. You're going to say, hey, visit our merch store. Look at that. There's a link to the merch store, not Birch store. Now we get some Birch beer there. There's the link to the donation station there from Buy Me Coffee. Very cool right now. Top contributor right there, Pecan. Donated $15. So if you want to get your name in the ticker, you got to donate more than $15, although any donation is, of course, wonderful and accepted, and we appreciate everything or anything that you guys would be able to go ahead and give us here at Stay Tuned Sports. Also, check out our merch store. Our merch store is available right now, and again, there's a lot of new stuff coming in there. More stuff coming in there all the time. The latest thing we have in there is the Steelers 8-bit helmet. We got a lot of 8-bit helmet stuff in there. More on the way. And some other stuff as well. And if you have any suggestions about things that you would want to see over in our merch store, don't hesitate. Come into the chat. Say hello. By the way, if you are joining us, chat is open. Come on into the chat. Say hi. Say hello. Say how you doing. That's going to help us out a lot. It's going to be it makes the show fun. It makes the show fun when we got a little interaction, a little banter back and forth with everybody here. So let me go ahead. I'm going to pin that message there in the chat. So we have the links are there and available for everybody to go and see. And let me see. I got a couple of the group chat picks. Making sure I got some of those in there. Because, of course, we have the Friday forecast coming up tomorrow. I don't know if Jimbo's going to be available for it. He is going to have a procedure done tomorrow. And so I doubt he's going to be available to go ahead and do the Friday forecast. But I will still be doing the Friday forecast, and I will have his picks there with us ready to go. So you'll see both mine and Jimbo's picks upcoming for this. Actually, let me make sure he's got his picks in there. Let me see. Make sure you have your picks in for the forecast tomorrow, Jimbo. I can do, let's see, I can, a little peek behind the curtain here. Let's see, I can do, okay, so we got that going. Bada bing, bada boom. And everybody give your best wishes, best luck to Jimbo. It should be okay. He should be fine. He should be fine. It's nothing too serious. It's nothing like, he's not having, he's not having testicles removed or anything like that. So he's fine. Let me get on to Twitter X and see what we're doing. Get ready for the now. The big thing coming into this game is we have Puka Nacua back. He is active and going to play, as is Cooper Kupp, who again is part of some trade rumors. We don't know. We've heard The Steelers, who have come out and said, though, that from sources, that they are not going to go to a second-round pick. They're not doing a second-round pick for Cooper Kupp. So that leaves some room for negotiations. But I believe there's some other teams as well that are looking for the services of Mr. Kupp. Might Kansas City still be in the market to get themselves another wide receiver? Or is this a case of, are they going to try to, or does he stay? Does he stay with Los Angeles? What if the Rams do well here? What if the Rams do good in this game? What if the Rams beat the Vikings? I have picked the Vikings in this game, by the way. Who did Jimbo pick, by the way? Because that's one thing I noticed. We forgot to announce what our picks were on the the flagship show yesterday, Stay Tuned Sports. So not sure. Let me see. Who did Jimbo pick? As we find out here. Just so that I know. Jimbo has picked the Vikings. So both me and Jimbo have picked the Vikings. So that is the picks that we're going with. But I'll tell you what, now having both of these, you never know. The Rams, when they're fully stocked and not as injured, and now, again, you got some players coming back from injury, is this going to be it? Are they going to be able to turn the corner here? Are they going to be able to provide a little excitement, a little bit of good football? Because, again, it's not been great for the Rams this season as of yet. But, again, you can blame that a lot on injuries. Same with San Francisco. Not playing the best, but you could say it's a lot of injuries, which they've suffered. But now you got two of your best guys there. You got Stafford still as your quarterback. The Vikings have, and I'll say this, the last two games before their bye, in the second half, they did not look good. They kind of limped to the finish line against both the Packers and the Jets. Then they had their bye, and then they had a very tough, close game with the Lions, ended up losing on the last-second field goal, which happens. I'm not saying that's neither good nor bad, but now you have a team who, for the last three games, didn't play well in the second half, and then, got themselves into a battle but lost. So now, where do the Vikings come into this? Now, it's a short week. You can look at it one of two ways. Some teams, especially after losing a close game like that, are very much, hey, I want to go back out there and play now, play immediately, just kind of get that bad taste out of the mouth, and they can go ahead and do that. Or it could be, oh man, we just had this tough battle against a division opponent, lost last second, very disappointing, and then now you got to travel halfway across the country, and it's a short week, and and the next thing you know, you're going to find yourself looking up to a team that, by all accounts, you should be superior to, but you're going to end up looking up to them, looking up at them on the scoreboard. So, it can go a couple ways here, but we'll see. We'll see what happens as we're getting closer here to kickoff. Alrighty, I'm gonna just check a couple more things. I think I gotta update the ticker too. I should have done that ahead of time, but you got to spend some time with the wife. You know what I mean? You got to spend a little bit of time. You can't just be all football all the time. And, I'm going to be doing this until, 11:30 tonight. It's going to be a thing. So, it's always best to spend as much time as you can. But because of that, I didn't get the chance to update a lot of stuff. So, we're going to do that now right before the game starts. We're going to do a copy. We're going to do a paste. We're going to look around all over the place. Let's go ahead and fix this up here. as we take a look as we're getting ready for kickoff here. TJ Hawkinson's out for tonight. I just saw that. There we go. Alrighty. So that's all set. We're going to get ready here. Who's getting the kickoff first? Let's see. It's going to be the Vikings. So the Vikings will get the kickoff first here. So let's give them the possession ball. And this is going to be a dynamic touchback. And that is where we will start. The Vikings and Sam Darnold starting on the 30-yard line to open up this game in beautiful sunny Inglewood, California, just outside the city of Los Angeles. Of course, Los Angeles getting ready for the World Series as the New York Yankees are going to come to town and really, hopefully, put a kibosh on all this Shohei Ohtani talk. Probably not going to happen because the Yankees got some pitching issues, but, you know, one can hope. Let's go Yankees. First down, it's going to be a handoff and a gain of 5 yards already for the Vikings. Is that Aaron Jones with the carry? As you take a look at Kevin O'Connell and Sean McVay on Thursday Night Football here on Amazon Prime. If you're watching along here, 14:30, by the way, sorry, as you're syncing up with us. Sam Darnold back, looks, throws across. It's going to be caught by Justin Jefferson at the 44-yard line, and that's going to be a first down for the Minnesota Vikings. So 2 plays and a first down, 5 yards and then 9 yards for Minnesota. Again, my name is King. This is Stay Tuned Sports. Thank you so much for joining us here on Thursday Night Watch Along. If you're brand new here and have not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Help us out a bunch with that. Also, give us a like. Give us a share as well. That would be fantastic. First and 10 from 44.5-yard line. It's going to be handoff to Aaron Jones. He bounces out to the right, and he's going to get 9 yards on that carry. So the Vikings getting chunk yardage after chunk yardage play here. We've had a gain of 5 yards on the ground, 9 yards in the air, now 9 yards on the ground again. 2nd and 1 coming from the Vikings 46.5-yard line. Handoff to Jones again. That's going to be a first down after a gain of around 4 yards. As I hit the microphone, as I always do. Did you see Sam Darnold? Last week versus Line had a 103 passer rating. Very nice. Even though it did end up being a loss. Darnold back to pass here on 1st and 10. Throws all the way down the field. That's going to be caught by Justin Jefferson at the 25-yard line. First down, Vikings. All right, checking that out. What do we got? Injury time out here? What's going on? I was too busy fixing stuff And now I see where everybody stops. So I'm guessing it's injury time out here in Los Angeles. They're taking a break. When we do come back, it will be 1st and 10 for the Vikings from the Rams' 25-yard line, as they have been just running down this field. Taking a look here on Twitter X, seeing anything else coming on, any news I might have missed. It's been a busy week with some of the trades happening and trade rumors happening. Oh my God. Seeing rumors that Jason Kelsey might have fallen asleep during the Eras tour. Oh my God. What a crime. What an awful crime to have. All right, checking some other stuff out, seeing what's going on, how everybody else is doing. I certainly hope you're doing well. Again, my name is King. This is Stay Tuned Sports. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here on this Thursday night. If you would like to, and it would help out, please like, share, subscribe. Helps us out. If you're not already subscribed, it will help us out tremendously. If you are subscribed, the likes and the shares help anyway. Thank you very much. If you want to go ahead and help us out more directly, like I said, we have a link for our donation station, both in our chat. Very top of the chat is pinned there, and as well below in the description right underneath this video. Same for our merch store. That is all down there as well. As is the link for our Discord, which is very quiet right now. There's not a lot of people in it. It's kind of brand new. So if you want to go in there and cause some shit, stir some trouble, that is open there for you, waiting for you to do so. As we're coming back here from a break after the game just started. So we're going to see what happened. As indeed there was an injury. Cam Curl, the safety for the Rams, as he is having a lot of trouble coming off the field and being helped to the sideline by the medical staff for the Los Angeles Rams, who are wearing their bone-colored uniforms, which are fucking disgusting. Sam Darnold back under center, takes the snap, hands it off to Aaron Jones, because why not? He's going to give you about 4 yards, 3.5 yards on the carry. So 2nd down and 7, or a long 6 coming up here, which I've heard more than once in my lifetime. Just under 12 minutes now in the first quarter. If you're syncing along, watching along with us here on Stay Tuned Sports along with Amazon Prime, I'm your boy King, hanging out with you here. As Darnold is in shotgun, he's got Jones to his left. We've got Addison in motion, takes the snap, back. Darnold surveying the field, has lots of time. Over the middle, caught Justin Jefferson at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, Minnesota Vikings. Get your skull chance ready, everybody. Get the skull chance ready. It looks like the way this is going, it's getting close. We're getting close to skull chant time. There we go. English. I can speak it. And again, took a while for him to get open, but Justin Jefferson did get open. Sam Darnold was able to find him crossing the middle. So here we go. 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Darnold under center. I'm going to guess this is going to be a handoff to Aaron Jones. No. Sam Darnold back looking to throw. Has all the time in the world, wide open to his tight end. That's Oliver with the touchdown. And the Vikings, an efficient, right down the field drive here against the Rams at home. At the Rams' home. Sorry. The Vikings are on the road. This is the Rams' home. This is at SoFi. This is at the beautiful $2 billion SoFi Stadium. Kick is up, and it is good. Was it 2? Was it 4? It was a lot. Whatever it was. It was a tremendous amount. But the extra point is up and good. It's 7-0. Minnesota leads with 10:43 left to go here in the first quarter. The Rams now will get their first drive with the ball, and we'll see how they look. Again, for the first time since week 1, they're going to have both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua on the field at the same time. So we're going to see how this goes. And again, thank you so much for joining us here. My name is King. This is Stay Tuned Sports. We do this every single NFL primetime game. We watch the Thursday night football games. We watch the Sunday night football games. We watch the Monday night football games. And, of course, since myself and Jimbo I'm a Giants fan, Jimbo's an Eagles fan, we will watch as best we can every Giants and Eagles game as well. I know to some people that may not be great, but I'll tell you what. If you find other people's misery entertaining and enjoyable, then you should definitely watch me watching the Giants games this year because, oh boy. So that's all I got to say about that. Get a little Forrest Gump action there. And there's a dynamic kickoff, and it's going to be touchback. So here we go. From the 30-yard line is where the Rams will take over. As we take a look at Matthew Stafford, 67% on his completion rate. Playing well. My sister-in-law absolutely hates this motherfucker. I have no idea why, but she cannot stand Matthew Stafford, which is why I think it would be hilarious if he gets traded to the Giants. Which is an unsubstantiated rumor, but I would still love to see it happen. So Stafford in shotgun takes the snap, back, looks, throws. That's going to be dropped by Nacua. His first one in his hands. He just could not grab it. So his first target since coming back is an incomplete pass for Puka Nacua. As he had his hands on it, he just could not get that final grip, no control of it, and then finally drops to the ground. 2nd and 10 now from the 30. We got Kupp in motion. Stafford back, looks, throws to Nacua. Again, it's going to be caught, and Nacua is going to get yards after the catch, and he's going to gain about 13 to 14 yards. About 13 is what the officials are giving to him, and that's going to be a first down for the Rams. So Nakua's second target, a lot better than his first, as he's able to catch it and then get good yards after the catch, as he caught it right at the line of scrimmage and got 14 yards, 13 yards, all on his own. Approaching 10 minutes here in the first quarter right now. Snapped by Stafford. It's going to be handoff, and this is going to be a big, big run for the Rams right up the middle. Williams with the carry, and he's going to get about 12 yards on that carry. First down and 10 for the Rams. All of a sudden, again, very early on, don't want to jump to conclusions, but could we have a bit of a defensive-less game here? I don't know. Could be. We might be looking at that. Kyron Williams there was the one with the carry. Has 8 touchdowns in the NFL this year, tied with Derrick Henry for the most. So 1st and 10, 9:20 left here in the first. Here comes the stuff from Stafford. Throws across the middle. That's going to be caught. And it's going to be a gain of about 6 or 7, depending on the spot from the officials. Tyler Johnson was the receiver on that play. Oh, man. See, this is the thing. I don't know why sometimes the chat bot here really kind of screws up, and I don't see, like, it for a while, I was like, why is nobody in the chat? And now I see it is. ELS is in the chat. Hamster in the chat. Pecan in the chat. Oh, guys, I've been missing all your messages here. Josh in the chat. Oh, I've been missing everybody's chat. Chief Asset in the chat. Everybody's in the chat. And yes, Pecan, that's exactly what I was referencing. The fact of everybody needs to pause. Everybody needs to pause because we were kind of getting excited for how the Tampa Bay and Ravens game was starting to look. And next thing you know, it turned out to be fairly an uncompetitive game. So we'll see. We'll see how the rest of it goes. But for right now, the defense is really not, not holding on here. So maybe we'll get into a flow of it. I don't know. As we see the Vikings defensive numbers here up on Amazon, again, number 1 in interceptions, most players with an interception, first in touchdowns. I mean, their defense is fairly good here, but the Rams are already on their 38-yard line. 2nd and 4 coming up here for the Rams. Play action from Stafford. He's going to throw to Nacua. Nacua, he's going to get it. And yards have to get to the 30, to the 25, to the 20. He is down to the 17-yard line. First down and 10 for the Rams. I know, Hamster. That's what I'm saying. I'm sitting there like, why is nobody in the chat? I was like, let me restart the chat agent. Let me close that out and put it back up here. And sometimes it's a weird thing with OBS, I guess. I don't know. It sometimes has the chat, sometimes doesn't. It'll glitch out on itself. So glad I'd find out because I'm sitting there like usually ELS is at least in the chat. I was like, why is anybody in this chat? So that was good to figure out. So here we go. 1st and 10. It's going to be a handoff here to Williams, and he's going to get a gain of 3, but flags all over the place as it might be a face mask. Let's see what happens. And indeed, personal foul, face mask on the Vikings. And we have the first flag of the game, and this one is, relatively obvious. Kind of have to have it. At least they didn't call it on the other team like they did with the Giants and Cowboys. I'm still not over that bullshit. So now it's 1st and goal due to the penalty from the 8-yard line. I'm sorry, 7. Oh, man, I'm done. It's going to be handoff here to Williams, and he's going to get it down to the 5. So a gain of 2 yards. 2nd and goal coming up here for the Rams as they're trying to punch it in and tie this game up with the Vikings. Chief Asset, again, in the chat. Slancha. I know it's not alcohol, it's coffee, but still. That's the other thing, too. I thought if I ever did this, like doing the live streaming of games and commentary and play-by-play and reaction, that I would have a lot more booze. I've not drank a lot doing this, which is surprising because I watch a lot of Giants games. You figured I'd have to be drunk to do that. 2nd and goal from the 5. Stafford back, looking to throw. Has time, over the middle. Throws, incomplete, intended for Kupp. No flags. 3rd and goal now coming up here for the Rams. I always thought, I'd have some apple cider or, beer or, like I said, I got Jägermeister. I have my Jägermeister and Dew, my Bundesliga cocktail that I love to make. But yeah, no, there's mostly coffee here. Just trying to stay awake. And I noticed because, I'm yawning already. See, right now, I just said yawning, so now I got to yawn. In this stuff, trying to make sure I stay with it. Play clock to 1. 3rd and goal. Stafford gets the snap, throws, and it is caught. Williams out of the backfield. Touchdown, Rams. And this game is an extra point away from being tied. So both these teams rather efficiently make it down the field against each other's defense. And we'll see. We could have another fun, wild Thursday night game coming up here. Looking at these first 2 drives. Again, a little too early. A little too early to say. Or say, like, oh, my God, we're in a shootout. But we're not. I don't think we're there yet. Temper expectations. But right now, here comes the extra point for the Rams. Snap, hold, kick up, and it is good. And we have ourselves a 7-7 tied game. 6:38 left here in the first quarter between the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Rams of Inglewood. Chief Asset in the chat. What was your score prediction for this game, if I even had one? We only for the picks that we make in the group chat, and for me and Jimbo for our Friday forecast, we do the prediction for the Monday night game, or what it would be the last Monday night game if they do the stupid double Monday night games. We usually do like a score total or prediction on that. For this game, I didn't have one. What would you think? Before going into this game, what would you think? What was your score prediction there, Chief Asset, or anybody else in the chat? If you want to go ahead and say what you thought this game was going to look like or be going into this game, and who you even had. What was everybody's picks? Like I said, me and Jimbo, we had picked Minnesota in this game, and from what I'm seeing, a lot of people picked Minnesota, even with the late introduction there of Puka being activated, and now you had Puka and Kupp on the field for the same time since week 1. I think a lot of people were still picking the Vikings. Although, as we saw from the first one, man, Puka looked good. Puka looked good in that first drive. ELS in the chat saying that he had it as Rams 35, Vikings 31. That was his initial prediction. That's an interesting take. Especially with the way the Vikings defense is. But again, on this first drive, it looks like that's a very plausible score for right now, ELS. I'll tell you that. If I had to guess, before this game even started, if I was going to say something, I probably would have said probably like Vikings 28, Rams 17, maybe. I think that's probably how I would have gone. Even with having Puka and Kupp back, and they're playing at home, even though SoFi isn't really home for the Rams or for the Chargers, either one of them. Visiting teams always seem to have more fans there than either of them ever do. Unfortunately, for them, and I do feel bad for the true Rams fans in Los Angeles who were happy to get their team back. And that's the other thing I think people that gets lost with the whole St. Louis thing is. Did St. Louis kind of get screwed? Yeah, but Los Angeles kind of got screwed with the Rams too, in which their team kind of got taken from them. And again, LA is LA, so I know a lot of people are like, LA sports don't give a shit about LA. People don't care about LA sports unless it's the Lakers or the Dodgers. Nobody gives a shit, and I guess you can understand that to an extent, but there are loyal diehard Rams fans out there. There are in the LA area. So it was good to see them get their team back in that sense. Do I think St. Louis should get a team back? I would like to see it, but considering all the lawsuits that happened between the city and the NFL and the bad blood that's there, I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. Whether it's by relocation or expansion, I don't see that happening. Hamster, I like the Vikings big, but it's a primetime game with all the money on the Vikings, so I decided to just watch it. Sometimes that's the best way to do about it. Just keep the money out of it, sit back and watch. Minnesota 1st and 10, it's going to be Jones, and he's going to get nowhere, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up here for the Vikings. Alyssa, hey, how you doing? Let's go Rams. Big Rams fan in the chat. Alyssa, great. Alyssa, yeah, it is Alyssa. Okay, I didn't know. My eyes, again, I wear the glasses for a reason here, Alyssa. Sorry about that, but great to see you here in the chat. Again, my name is King. This is Stay Tuned Sports. If you like what you're watching, please give us a subscribe. Also, a like and a share. That helps us out as well. Thank you so very much, Alyssa, for joining us here in the chat. 2nd and 11. Darnold back to throw. In shotgun throws. Caught Addison, and that's going to be caught for a first down, about a 14-yard gain for the Vikings on that play. We are coming up on about 5:50 left here in the first quarter. You are new. I was going to say, I had not seen you here before, so it is great to see you. Thank you for joining us here. Fantastic. And I see, again, Rams fans saying, let's go Rams. So we'll see. And I would have to say, if you're a Rams fan, you're pleased with how your offense came out looking, especially with Puka and Kupp on the field, again, for the first time since week 1. Puka looked really good outside of that first drop ball. He looked very good. And you were able to go down the field very quickly and answer right back on the Vikings. So here we go, another handoff to Aaron Jones, and he's going to bring it up to about the 50 for a 7-yard gain. And 2nd and 3 coming up here. Chief asset in the chat, DeAndre Hopkins to my team. Thank God. I was going to say, we were all wondering who were the Chiefs going to get, because they had to get somebody. Because they were desperate for wide receivers, considering all the injuries they had. They just kept on losing players. Mahomes hasn't looked great. So DeAndre Hopkins helped. Is he a fix-it-all? I don't know, but I think I think it's going to be all right. Sam Darnold on 2nd and 3 throws over the middle. That's going to be caught. Justin Jefferson. And again, a first down. And the Vikings, again, efficiently moving the ball against this Rams defense. Alyssa, you're from Honolulu, Hawaii. You lucky. Beautiful, beautiful Hawaii. Which it's definitely a place I would love to visit. I would love to see. I hear it's very nice. A nice, comfortable 80 degrees around there most of the time. And it's a tropical paradise. So, of course, who doesn't want to be there? 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Sam Darnold, he's going to run it himself. Slides down for a gain of about 5 yards. That was kind of a bootleg situation. Couldn't find anybody open, and then decided to go and pull it down himself. Hamster in the chat says, I don't know if the Rams can stop them at all. They are moving it down the field far too easy, and they are indeed. But see, here's the thing. On that first drive, and again, it could be the whole 15 plays scripted. You'd never play really better than that sometimes. But we'll see, because if the Rams can move it against the Vikings as well as the Vikings have against the Rams, and again, that's going to be Jones with the carry. A gain of about 3 yards. It's going to be 3rd down coming up here. The Vikings are running up to the line here to do it very quickly here. 3rd and 1. Snap, sneak by Darnold, and it appears that he does have the first down. So this is my thing, Hamster. We'll see. The Vikings are moving the ball very efficiently against the Rams defense. What does that have to, how do the Rams then do with the, because again, we saw the Rams first drive, they moved it just as efficiently against the Vikings defense. So at some point, this is starting to feel like, and we're again very early, but it could be a case of if somebody's defense gets 1 or 2 stops, that could be a difference in the game. And yeah, dude, that time difference in Hawaii's got to make it, because even if you're on the West Coast, the 1 o'clock games are at 10. So that's interesting. First down pass to Jefferson. That's going to be a gain of 5 yards. 2nd down and 5 coming up here for the Vikings. And I think Hawaii is 2 hours behind that. So that would mean the 1 o'clock games would be at 8 o'clock. If I'm correct, and again, Alyssa can let us know the exact time difference, because I think it's for American time, you have the Eastern, Central, Mountain, Pacific, Alaskan, and then Hawaiian. So it's currently 2:44 over there in Hawaii. Aaron Jones, he looks like he gets to the 10-yard line. He indeed does. That's a first down, and that's going to be 1st and goal now for the Vikings, with under 1:30 here in the game. 1:25 and counting here in the first quarter. I said in the game. It's in the first quarter. Sorry about that. So that's a 6-hour difference. So, yeah. So that would mean the ones are, so that's, oh, boy. So that's 1, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Ooh, that's 7 o'clock in the morning. You'd have to wake up to watch the 1 o'clock game, which means the London games would be 9, 8, 9, 10, 9, 4, would be 3:30 in the morning if you wanted to watch one of the London games. Yeah. Darnold throws. That's going to be caught for a touchdown. Vikings go right down the field again. 70 yards, 10 plays, in 5 minutes and 45 seconds. That was Sheffield, I believe, who caught the touchdown. And just like that, the Vikings have themselves 13 points. Snap, hold, kick up, good, and we have ourselves a 14-7 Minnesota Vikings lead currently on the Los Angeles Rams of Inglewood here on Thursday Night Football, or Thursday afternoon football if you're Alyssa in the chat. DeAndre Hopkins rocking number 8 for the Kansas City Chiefs as he plays there. ELS saying that he's doing so in honor of Kobe. So we'll see. Again, and this is the thing I brought up with Jimbo on the flagship show on Wednesday, is we don't know which DeAndre we're getting yet. And again, DeAndre Hopkins, when he was with the Texans, was an absolute revelation. I think we all understand it and saw what he did when he played there. And since then, again, he's played with not great quarterbacks and in not great situations. In Arizona, when he had Kyler Murray. In Atlanta, where I think it was Desmond Ridder was his quarterback there. And then in the last 2 years, he had to deal with Ryan Tannehill, Will Levis, and Mason Rudolph in his time there until now he's getting traded to Kansas City. But you're talking from about a 4 or 5 year period now where we haven't seen peak DeAndre. So is this D-Hop in Kansas City going to tap in and be what he was? Because 5 seasons is a long time in the NFL. And part of me thinks that I don't think we're going to get that level of DeAndre Hopkins, but it's still better than what the Chiefs have right now. If we're being honest, all things being equal, I think, any kind of DeAndre Hopkins, even if he's not prime DeAndre, is still better than what the Chiefs had to work with, which was basically nothing. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting to see how that works out. I'm interested to see if it is that much of a difference. And if it is, here's the thing that's scary, is if that does work out, if the Chiefs start clicking, if Mahomes stops throwing more interceptions than touchdowns, which he has, he's got worse numbers than Daniel Jones so far this year, which is fucking nuts. If they start clicking, here's the thing, they've sucked and they're 6-0. And even Chief Asset, who's a big Chiefs fan in the chat, you have to know, you can even admit that the Chiefs have not played good football this year. And even so, are undefeated, the last undefeated team. Now, if they're adding pieces and they get better, what does that mean for everybody? If they played shitty and won all their games, if they play good, does anybody even have a shot? Oh, it's going to be interesting to find out here. And that's going to be a dynamic touchback on that kickoff. So here we go. The Rams will take over at the 30-yard line again. Let's see if they can answer right back like they've been doing. They did the first time on their first drive to answer the Vikings to tie the game at 7-all. Let's see if they can tie it again at 14-all. We're going to see what happens here. ELS in the chat with some news. Cowboy tight end John Stevens tore his ACL. And the Cowboys will again be without another piece of their puzzle. Stafford underneath center here. Looks like he's calling protections, maybe audibling the play. The Vikings doing the same on their defense. Pressure is picked up. It's going to be caught by Nacua. Nacua is going to get all the way down to the 46-yard line, and that's going to be a first down, 16-yard gain for the Rams. Chief Asset in the chat, we don't focus on having just one A-plus player. We focus on having 4 or 5 B-plus to A-grade players. And I understand that, and that's what I mean, is the Chiefs have always been a very good team to get the most out of what they had, except for Kadarius Toney. He sucks. 20 seconds left here in the first quarter. This will be the last play of the first quarter. Stafford in shotgun, takes the snap, back, looks, throws across the middle. That's going to be dropped by Kupp. Cooper Kupp, yet without a catch. I think that's his second target. His first one in the end zone wasn't really close to him. Didn't really get his hands on it, so that was an incomplete one. And this one hit him right in the hands, but much like Puka Nacua when he first got his hands on it, dropped it, never had control of it. So Cooper Kupp still without a catch here. And because of that drop, the clock stops. So we have 10 seconds here left in the first quarter. So that indeed wasn't the last play of the first quarter. 2nd and 10 coming up here for the Rams. Stafford is going under center. Play clock to 1. Now at 0. And they have to take a timeout, or will they get the penalty? Nope, they took a timeout before any flag was thrown. Oh, they had another time. Did they have a timeout before that I had missed or on that first drive? I knew I had missed something. So I didn't know they had already taken a timeout. I thought it might have been. So they took the timeout for the injury timeout. I thought that only happened like in the last 4 minutes of the halves or something. All right, well, whatever. Doesn't matter. Rams only have 1 timeout left now, as they've used 2 in the first quarter. Chief Asset again in the chat. What he meant by that in his last statement about the B+ to A grade players on their team stepping up. I mean, the guys don't need to get amazing stats for the Chiefs. They just need to be. Yeah, no, that's what most great teams you'll see have. Any team that you see that wants to be superstars and have the superstar divas on their team usually don't end up being that great. So it's going to be a pass out to Williams, and he's going to get 4 yards on that pass carry there. And that's going to end the first quarter with 3rd down coming up here for the Rams. 14-7. Currently the score here at the end of the first quarter on Thursday Night Football. I'm your boy King, hanging out with you here on Stay Tuned Sports with your play-by-play and reaction watch-along to Thursday Night Football. Thank you so much for joining us here. If you like what you're watching, please give us a like, share, and if you're not already, please subscribe. It helps us out. Again, the likes help us out as well. Even if you are subscribed, every like helps. And share us around like your favorite STD. Trust me, it's a lot more fun to pass it around than the STD. It's a lot, but it's better. It's just better. So just share us around. It helps us out tremendously. Thank you so very much. Again, if you'd like to help us out more directly, we have links to our donation station in the top of the chat here. It's pinned as well as underneath this video in the description. As well as our merch store. We do have a merch store. Our latest merchandise in there is a Pittsburgh Steelers 8-bit helmet, shirt, and hoodie. And both their athletic gold and their black and in athletic gray, if you prefer that as well. We also have 8-bit helmets there for the Seahawks, for the Packers, for the Giants, for the Eagles, for the... no, we don't have the Jets there yet, do we? No, I don't think we have the Jets in there. So the Jets will be in there as well as more teams will be added as we're going through all this. So you can check that out as well. Again, if you want to have your name right here in the ticker, you can go ahead and donate there at Buy Me a Coffee. We have the link coming up right there. And again, like I said, it's in the top of the chat and in the description. Right now, the top contributor is Pecan. He donated $15 to us. If you want to have your name in the ticker, you got to do more than $15. But again, any donation is absolutely appreciated, and you will get a shout out. Thank you so very much for everybody who does do that and does help us out. Every little bit does help, and we, again, cannot thank you enough for all that you do for helping us and supporting us here at Stay Tuned Sports personally. So thank you for that. Chief Asset, again, in the chat says, I feel like I had a little Dark Golem or Goblin on my team when Kadarius was there. As a Giants fan, we had to deal with him in the early part of his career, and it kind of sucks that he got a Super Bowl ring with you guys. I'm not happy about that because then again he would always go in his lives and just kind of shit on the Giants and shit on Giants fans and say like it's like. Yeah, but you weren't any good. Like, what do you want? Like, I'm sorry, Kadarius, you weren't good. And again, you see things like, how offsides he was on that great play where it was last year when Travis Kelce had gotten the ball and then pitched it back and it was going to be a touchdown. And for Kadarius Toney, oh my God, what a great play! What a Kansas City play that was. And his entire foot is over the line of scrimmage, and it's like trying to complain about it, and it's like, man, come on, you can't line up offsides and then be upset when they call. 3rd and 7, Stafford in shotgun here as we start the second quarter. He's back. He's got time, does Stafford. Throws. It's going to be short. Nacua was the intended receiver. Incomplete. We have a flag down, though. What do we got? And we have holding on the Vikings. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down. Oh, no. So the Vikings appear to have gotten the first defensive stop of the game, but instead they get defensive holding, and the drive continues for the Rams. They had trips right. And that's a rough call. But now we have a run here by Williams. Williams is going to run it all the way down to the 20, down to the 17-yard line. First down, Rams. He gave the Rams just a little bit of room, a little bit of life, and a fresh set of downs. And a big running play by Williams, and he's going to get down to about the 17-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings. And here we go. If you're the Vikings defense, if I'm a Vikings fan or on the Vikings defense, I'm very upset by that call. Because that's a real ticky-tack call to make in that situation. Oh, wow. No, was he out before? What happened? I thought he got way further down than that. They're calling it from the 30, from the 29. I thought he was a lot deeper than that. Oh, all right. Well, I guess he stepped out along the way. Either way, it was a first down. Second down now coming up here. For the Rams after a first down run of 1 yard. As they are now taping up Williams' ankle. And I'm guessing that is what happened. He stepped out of bounds because when he was tackled, he was at like the 17-yard line. So now from the 28-yard line, 2nd and 9 coming up here, Stafford in shotgun. Nacua is at the top of the screen, and he throws to Nacua, and it's caught. And this time he's going to get down there to around the 15-yard line, and that one will be first down for the Rams. So Nacua already with a couple of targets here and a couple of catches, big catches, and he gets big yards after his catch as well. And the Rams are driving again. Just when you thought the Vikings had him stopped. Corum with a good block pickup in the backfield there for the Rams. Got to point that out there. So 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. It's going to be a handoff to Nacua out of the backfield. And Nacua is going to bring it down to about the 7-yard line. Or 6. About 6.5, I would say. Second down coming up for the Rams. As they're looking to punch it in and tie this game up after the Vikings seemingly had gotten a stop on defense. And then a very questionable holding call made by the officials kept this drive going for the Rams, and the Rams have capitalized on it. So no matter how you think about it, if you're the Vikings, you still got to try to stop them. And they haven't. So the Rams have taken advantage of that situation. 2nd and 3. That's going to be no gain on the carry. As that was Williams back in the game after getting his ankle taped up. No gain. 3rd down coming up now for the Rams. Looking to either get a first down or a touchdown. You wouldn't want to settle for the field goal, considering how this game might be going with the kind of back and forth nature of it. So 3rd and 2. Stafford in shotgun. Man in motion. Tight end. Now trips over to his right. And there's an offsides on the Rams, and that's going to knock it back. And now it'll be 3rd and 7. Jackson, number 77, did a little shimmy, shimmy, shake, please. And you can't do that. So now 3rd and a little bit longer for the Rams to try to keep this drive from being just a field goal. Here comes the snap. Stafford back. Looks, throws. That's going to be high to the outside towards Kupp, but there's a flag. I'm not sure this is a flag either, but this might keep the drive going. I'm not sure I agree with that flag. But they are going to call, pass interference or holding it? They're going to say pass interference on Gilmore. Yeah, all right. I mean, he's face guarded. He didn't look back at the ball. That's technically. Chief Asset in the chat says my Giants on prime time. I know. I don't want. I'm sorry. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch the Giants anymore. I don't want to do it. You can't make. Yeah, you gotta have to. But anyway, so now 1st and goal. It's going to be a handoff to Williams, and he's going to be stopped about a half yard short of the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be a loss about a half a yard. 2nd and goal coming up here for the Rams. Again, 2 third-down penalties where the Vikings thought they had gotten off the field. Instead, you had a holding penalty, which is an automatic 1st down, and a pass interference on a 3rd down has kept this Rams drive alive. As we are 2nd and goal now, the Rams looking to tie this game up at 14. Stafford in shotgun. Ball is at the 7-yard line. Kupp in motion. Takes the snap. Stafford escapes pressure. Still escapes the pressure. Throws open. Touchdown. Cooper Kupp for the Rams. And they are an extra point away from tying this game. Alyssa in the chat's got to be real happy as she's a big Rams fan out there in Honolulu, baby. Watching us here on her Thursday afternoon football, Thursday night football for the rest of us. And here's the snap, the hold, the kick is up. And it is good. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So a couple penalties from the Vikings keep that drive alive. And we have a tied game here in the 2nd quarter. Both teams have scored a touchdown on each of their first 2 drives. 14-14. Rams, Vikings from beautiful Inglewood, California and SoFi Stadium. ELS excited about that Cooper Kupp touchdown as he needed Cooper Kupp to get some points for his fantasy team. It's a good way to start off on a Thursday for your fantasy team. Get some points going. Now, makes you wonder, how's everybody else's fantasy teams doing? If you do fantasy, I have no idea if anybody's in fantasy or not. I know ELS is big into fantasy. I got a fantasy team too on a random Yahoo league because I don't know anybody else that wanted to do fantasy. So, unfortunately. I know, sad, lonely king. What are you going to do? And by the way, just a quick question, a quick answer of a question out there. It's not a question that anybody else can chat or anything, but something I've heard people like question or ask. No, I don't call myself king because I think I'm royalty of some kind. King is my name. King is my last name. So that's why I'm king. And through my whole life, I have such a regular-ass first name that whenever I was with a group of friends, it was always just turned into King. So I've been called my whole life just King by everybody. So that's why I am King. Not it's not some egotistical thing like, oh, I'm the king. Woo. That's not how that works. It's just my name. Just my name. It's just my name. ELS also in the chat letting us know that he is only 70 subs away from 1,000. Here we go. By the way, if you like, go check out ELS's YouTube channel, ELS TrainTuber 501. He follows around all these trains that run through, through Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula there in Michigan. Cool diesel train videos, cool information about them. If you're into that kind of stuff. And listen, you gotta like, I'm a big diesel guy. Diesel, gotta like that diesel. So yeah, go check that channel out. Give him a subscribe, a couple likes if you want to. That definitely would help him out. And he's a good friend of the show, good friend of the channel. Yeah, any help for him is a help for us, really, to tell the truth. So go check him out, please. Chief Asset in the chat started fantasy and now stopped playing. And ELS put the link for his channel there in the chat as well, so it's an easier way to check it out. Thank you so much, ELS. And yeah, check him out. Please help him out. And also, if you're watching us and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Also, give us a couple likes and share us around. That helps us out as well. And we're going to have another touchback. So the Vikings, again, will take over at the 30. You'd figure at some point maybe one of these teams will realize maybe giving each of these teams on the 30, not working. It seems like when these guys get the ball on the 30, they drive all the way down the field and score. So maybe try to drop in a more regular kickoff, get it into the landing zone, make them try to return it, and see if they screw it up. You know, again, they also have a chance to run it back on you, so you got to make sure your coverage is real good. 1st and 10 from the 30. Darnold in shotgun. Jefferson in motion. I thought somebody moved way early there. Yeah, okay. It took a while for the flag to show up, but we got there. I was like, am I having a stroke or? Yeah, full start there on the Vikings. 5-yard penalty. Moving back. 10:05 here in the second quarter. It'll now be 1st and 15 for the Vikings from the 25-yard line. By the way, if anybody else in the chat has like a YouTube channel or something else that they want to promote or throw up there, please, by all means, do so. Because I know you guys aren't a bot. If you're bots, you're going to get fucking kicked. And that's what I mean. Don't spam anything. But if you guys do have something like a channel or something that you want to go ahead and push, go right ahead. Like I said, just no spamming. So 1st and 15, we have another flag. I was about to just take the flag counter off, but we have another flag out there. So boop, we'll just put the flag back out there and we'll pop the counter up to 6. And what's this one for? And it's another full start, or I'm sorry, this one is illegal formation on the Vikings. So it's going to be 1st and 20, actually. Yikes. So not the way you wanted to start out this drive if you're the Vikings. Yeah, and Chief Asset, that's the problem too sometimes with me in years past is I would, because I've had the same, my fantasy team, East Pennsylvania Coal Miners. Woo! Go Miners. I've had the same team since 1998. As far as my team is the East Pennsylvania Coal Miners. And sometimes I would just join a league just to keep the streak going. On that pass, Justin Jefferson's going to get up to the 31-yard line. So a gain of about 11 yards. So 3rd down and 9 coming up here for the Vikings. Yeah, but that's there were some years where I would join a fantasy league just to have it. There was a time, I want to say about 15 years ago, I was part of a keeper league, where I was in it. It was the Continental Football Association on the old Chris Creamer sports logo boards. And here we go, 3rd and 9. Darnold back to throw, and that's one's going to be short hopped as he was getting some pressure towards him. 4th and 9 coming up here for the Vikings, and we're going to have our first punt of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Rams get the first stop on defense as Minnesota goes 3 and out after 2 bad penalties. You had a full start penalty, and then you had a illegal formation penalty. So 4th and 9. Vikings ready to kick, and the kick is away. Rams get it at about the 7-yard line. It's going to be returned up to around the 13. And that is where the Rams will take over from their own 13-yard line. Coming up here, 9:06 left in the second quarter. 14-14, Minnesota and Los Angeles. Again, my name is King. This is Stay Tuned Sports. Thank you so much for watching us here. Chief has, I have 5 Yahoo teams. One of them I just selected as all Chiefs. Got Hollywood Brown, Rashid Rice, Checo, all of them are IR. And Weeks I just left all the Chiefs on the roster, which was everybody. Yeah, so I mean, I get like that's something. And back when I first started, I would pick like all Giants players. I was like, ugh. In my keeper league, I had Eli Manning too, and I wanted to hold on to him even as a rookie. I was like, I think he might be something good. He might be something special. And outside of a couple years, Eli was never a good fantasy quarterback. Like he good. He led us to 2 Super Bowl wins. He was a good quarterback. He's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. But fantasy number wise, he was never a good fantasy quarterback. But the only fantasy, I believe that the only fantasy championship I ever won was 25 years ago. It was my second year of doing fantasy football, 1999, and it's because I had Kurt Warner. And I picked him up after Trent Green got injured, and they went Kurt Warner. I said, why not? I'm brand new to this game. I was like, let me pick up Kurt Warner. Why not? And see what happens. And sure enough, like fantasy-wise, he blew everything up. And that was my only, to this day, still the only fantasy championship I've won in fantasy football. So I'll take it. It'll be there. But 25 years is a long time to be without a championship in football. I even had a ring. I had a little fantasy championship ring that they gave out for one. It was pretty cool. But we'll see. We'll see how this year goes. Again, I'm in some random Yahoo league. I'm not bad. I'm in second place right now. I'm 4-2. Let's see. ELS in chat says I'm in only one fantasy league right now. My team is 4-3, and I'm helping someone else in the league as well, and they are 1-6. Well, then that's not much help now, is it? I'm helping them. I'm giving them help. They're 1-6, but I'm helping them. I swear. As we're seeing some of this high-end food. Where is this? At Toscana. Oh, this is Al Michaels' place. Okay. Here's the one thing that me and Al Michaels have in common. Can't stand fucking vegetables. Can't do it. I don't like it. Give me steak. Give me pasta. Give me gravy. Well, but that's not true because I like corn and I do like peas. I can eat that shit. But like broccoli, get that shit off my plate. 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line for the Rams. It's going to be a gain of about 2, I would say. So 2nd and 8 coming up here. Let's see where the ref spot it. Josh, everybody wants to see Rodgers do the Favre journey, going from the Packers to the Jets to the Vikings. That would be if that happens. That'd be hilarious. If he leaves the Jets in the lurch like that, we got another flag down. There we go. And this one is going to be another hand jive from the official. Up to 7 flags now here in the first half. ELS, you just joined them this week. All right, well, let's see if your help can help them get out of that 1-6 hole there. Yeah, 0 veggies, baby. I'm with Al Michaels on that, man. Kick those vegetables out of there. That's what I mean. Al Michaels is he's close to 80, and my man don't eat no vegetables. So that's all you need to know right there. Give me my meat, baby. Carnivore diet. Throwing the cup. That's going to be caught. Couple yards on there, not much. And it's going to be 3rd and long coming up here for the Rams. It looks like he got back to, I think, what was the original line of scrimmage. So it's going to be about 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 9 here. Third and 10 is, in fact, the spot as they got back to the 12-yard line. Stafford back, looking to throw. Has all the time. Now pressure. Now almost falls into the end zone and then just throws it away down to the feet of Williams, the running back. And there's another flag down. What is this one going to be? This is going to be another penalty on the Vikings. That's incredibly. That's unbelievable. They're going to say illegal use of hands on the Vikings. Oh my God. So the Vikings have another 3rd down stop. And it gets waved off by a flag. 1st and 10. They're saying illegal use of hands to the face. I mean, it's on the shoulder pad too. Like, I don't know. Again, there's a couple iffy ones there. And now the Vikings are back. Chief Asset. Honestly, I didn't expect the Jets to finish 2-15 this year. I don't think they're going to finish 2-15. They still play games against the Patriots. I think they're playing the Patriots this week anyway. That's going to be a run there on first down. It's going to get up to the 22-yard line. Second down coming up here for the Rams. 7:15 and counting here in the second quarter. ELS in the chat. Anytime the Vikings get a flag, I'm going to enjoy it. Go Pack Go. Of course, yes. You, as Tom Grossi would say, you're not a big fan of the purple incarnation of Satan. I get it. I'm the same way when it comes to the Eagles. So, I get it. It's not a thing. Oh, and we got more flags. And this one's going to be against the Rams, apparently, as a little bit of a hand jiving. A little bit of somebody got over anxious. And so we're now up to 9 flags. And for all the new people here, for Alyssa and anybody else that's still with us here, anybody new watching, when it comes to the flags, and I do try to explain this, maybe I'll actually put a little thing down there. I'll put, all flags, not just accepted. But yes, when I do the flag counter, I count the flags. I don't count the penalties. So even if a flag is picked up or even if there's a penalty that is declined, the flag counter will count any and all flags that are thrown. It doesn't matter to me if it's picked up or if it's declined. A flag is a flag, and that's how it ends up. But right now, I think we're 9 for 9 here on the flags. Again, 2nd and 10, and another flag coming down. Oh, shit. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to have a flag game. Let's get ready. Stretch out. Get ready. It's going to be a flag game. It's going to be a push game. Got to get the throwing shoulder here. Flag. And this one's going to be holding on the Ramses. So we've hit double digits already. Travis Hunter, to me, Travis Hunter is coming out of Colorado. Travis Hunter is who I would want more than Shedeur Sanders. If I'm a team with a number 1 draft pick, I want Travis Hunter. If coming out of Colorado, that's what I want. And that's going to be thrown for a loss of about 3 yards. Van Ginkel on the tackle there. Now 3rd down. And it's going to be even much longer here for the Rams as the officials seem to have taken over this game with their flags. 3rd and 18 coming up here. Although, watch, there'll be a 5-yard holding penalty on the Vikings. Automatic first down, and we'll just keep this going. We're getting close. Like I said, this feels like a flag game. This is starting to feel like a flag game. We're already at 10, and there's only 5:30 now left in the second quarter. Hand off here to Williams, and he's going to get all the way up to the 21-yard line. But it will still be 4th down. And the Rams are going to have to punt. And there's no 3rd down flag here for the Vikings, which is astonishing. ELS, help me out here. ISL, is that Israel or is that Iceland? I don't know what the abbreviation for that particular one is. That's going to be punted, picked up at about the 37-yard line, returned to the 43, and that is where the Vikings will take over. As ELS helping us out with the update for soccer, international soccer here. USA is up 2-1 over ISL. And again, I don't know if that's Israel or Iceland. Iceland. It is Iceland. Okay. I wasn't sure. I wasn't 100% sure. So before I say anything dumb or silly, I want to make sure I get all my facts straight. So thank you very much, ELS, for that update. Go USA. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. Sorry. But yeah, we got our new new coach there. who he coached Tottenham when Tottenham actually made it to the Champions League final. So Pacheco, Prosecco. I forget. I don't know how to exactly pronounce his name, but he's good. He's a good guy. So better than Bertholter. So anything's better than Bertholter. Good coffee. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the Celtics are going to be a problem this year. If you're a big NBA guy, you're a basketball person, and you're not a Celtics fan, Celtics are going to be a problem. And again, it's a long season, long way to go. But this is how they're starting off. Kind of. Not only are they picking up from where they left off, they're advanced from where they were even after winning a championship. So this appears in the first couple games here at the Celtics. They're going to be the team to beat here. ELS from reminding us of the rankings in the the FIFA World Rankings are kind of wonky anyway. But I'll tell you what, Iceland still has one of the best victories ever over England there in the Euros. So that's as somebody who has some Irish heritage in them, about 50% Irish heritage. Anybody who beats England is okay in my books. Chief Asset thinking about he might come back from Thailand just to watch some of the World Cup here in the States. Because and that's what I mean. We're pretty good. Kansas City is indeed, and I think the final is going to be held right here at the big HVAC at the Meadowlands in Jersey. So excited for that. 1st and 10. Darnold getting pressure, and he's going to get sacked back at the 30. Big loss for the Vikings as he mocks the skull chant. Oh, no. Oh, Verse. That's not how you do that, Mr. Verse. You don't mock the skull chant, for the spirit of the skull shall be upon thee. USA now up 3-1 against Iceland. Thank you for the update there, ELS. No, the final is not in New York, New Jersey. The final is in New Jersey. Fuck New York. New York has no part of this. It's in New Jersey. Darnold back to throw. Looks, just throws it down because there's a flag. Play never happened, never counted. We're at number 11. And that's going to be an early movement there on the Vikings. Yes, no, screw New York. Yeah, no, absolutely not. It's New Jersey, baby. Jersey! They're not having the final in Central Park. There's not going to be, it's not like, oh, Yankee Stadium, they're having a World Cup final there. Nope, not there, not anywhere. Guess where it's happening? New Jersey, baby. Beautiful East Rutherford, New Jersey, in Essex. I think, is it Essex or Bergen? I always forget where East Rutherford is. I think it's on the border right there with Essex and Bergen. Darnold back to throw, rolls out to his left, goes all the way downfield, out of bounds, incomplete. 3rd and 25 coming up here for the Vikings. With 3:31 left here in a second. Don't know how many 3rd and 25 plays you got in the playbook, but it's not a lot. Josh in the chat talking about how he's used to the heartbreak losses when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings, 2017 divisional. And the 2022 London games, indeed, were not pretty. Yeah, dude, that 2017 divisional round was... that sucks. What is New Jersey? New Jersey is a beautiful place full of the Pulaski Skyway and truck stops. Great diners, though. You'll be able to eat there. That's going to be a completed pass there, but only up to about the 35-yard line. So it's going to be 4th and still fucking forever, and the Vikings are going to have to punt. So after we had 2 drives, 4th and 16 is the official mark. Each team's first 2 drives ended at touchdowns. Since then, we've had a punt from the Vikings, a punt from the Rams, and now a second punt from the Vikings. And it will be under 3 minutes when the Rams get the ball here. And will they be able to get a score, or will it be another punt? We'll see. Punt is all the way down to the 10-yard line, and that is where it will be fair caught by the Rams, and that's where they'll start. Yeah, that's what I mean. Is you're gonna have all these. You're gonna have everybody coming in and be like, "What is it?" It's just that's it. That's what they're gonna see. They're gonna see New Jersey and they're gonna be like, "What's going to? Oh, you got to travel." Hey, by the way, it's gonna be glorious seeing Europeans try to navigate the Jersey Turnpike. Have fun with that, and then Route 3. Have fun. Have fun. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Oh, good luck. Good luck, everybody. May the odds be ever in your favor. Oh, that's going to bring me a lot of joy as a Jersey boy. ELS, stop it. Stop it. It's not going to be in Green Bay. Listen, love you guys, but if you could have a World Cup final in the World City, come on. Well, around the World City. Right, adjacent to the World City. World City adjacent. First down for the Rams. It's going to be again a carry by Williams. Williams got a lot of carries here. Has done relatively well. 9 rushes for 56 yards. Nacua's had 4 receptions for 64. And Stafford right now is currently 10 of 13, 87 yards and 2 touchdowns. 2:24, 3, 2, 1 remaining here in the second quarter. 2nd and 6. Coming up here for the Rams from the 15-yard line. That would be cool. Curling in Green Bay, I'd do that in a heartbeat. That's going to be thrown, caught, and a first down. Gain of about 7 yards there. And we've hit the 2-minute warning, ladies and gentlemen. 2 minutes left here in the first half. Vikings 14. Rams 14. First down and 10 coming up. Rams only have 1 timeout left. Parkinson was the tight end with that reception, by the way. Yeah, they did like a cool outdoor curling tournament in January, February, something like that up in Green Bay at Lambeau. I'd watch that in a heartbeat. I would go to that. Bundle me up. Give me all the gloves. I got the big thick gloves, and give me the heaters and stuff like that. Put the little heat things in your gloves and in your shoes or whatever, and go out there. I would do that in a heartbeat. Absolutely. That'd be fun. That would be fun. Listen, I love curling. That's what I mean. I know it's one of the weird things. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, you watch curling?" Yes, I love curling. I will watch curling all the time. I'm excited for it. So. Okay, so Milwaukee's trying to go and get themselves a WNBA expansion team. Again, WNBA did a lot of work this year. Well, Caitlin Clark, let's be honest. But they still lost $40 million. You can't keep running at a loss like that. I know there's a big what is the Winter Classic this year is Chicago, isn't it? Is it Chicago or Minnesota? Who's the Winter Classic this year? Because I know there's also an outdoor game for the Stadium Series is going to be in Columbus at the Horseshoe at Ohio Stadium, and that's going to be the Blue Jackets. I think the Red Wings. Oh, it's the Blues. Blues and Blackhawks. Okay, I thought it might have been the Blues. Yeah. So Blues and Blackhawks are going to be the Stadium Series, or the Winter Classic this year for the NHL. And the Stadium Series is going to be Columbus and Detroit at the Horseshoe, which should be fun. I went to the Stadium Series last year here at the Big HVAC for the Devils and Flyers. That was great. That was fun. That was a real fun one. I enjoyed that. Hand off to Williams. Big gain here on 1st and 10. Gets it all the way up to the 35-yard line. 1st down and 10. A minute 50 and counting here in the second quarter. Rams trying to get maybe within field goal range to at least go up at halftime. If not, get more. We'll see as they wear their pretty ugly, disgusting bone uniforms. Snap by Stafford. Back. Looking to throw. Getting pressure. Gets away from the pressure. Kind of underhand throws it to Williams, and that's going to be good for 6 yards. And he gets out of bounds. So a minute 30 left. Clock is stopped. 2nd and 4 coming up here for the Rams. And here's the thing I liked about the Stadium Series with the Devils and Flyers, because a lot of people were like, oh, that's going to be all Flyers fans. Those are the Devils can't get fans there. That place was 80-20% Devils fans. It was as a Devils fan, I never felt prouder. It was such a great showing for Devils fans and what we're doing here. Here we go, 2nd and 4, and that's going to be a gain of 5 for Williams. 1st down, clock is running though. Minute 20 and counting here in the second quarter. Rams only have 1 timeout left. Minnesota has all 3, but they don't have the ball. So that doesn't really matter right now. Vikings trying to get a big stop here on defense. Minute left. Stafford back, looks, throws over the middle. That's going to be caught by Cooper Kupp, and he's down at the 50 inbounds, but we have a flag. We have a flag. Of course we do. Because it'll be flag number 12 of the first half. Looks like they picked up the. Did they pick up the flag? Doesn't matter. Flag still counts on mine because they fucking threw it. Oh, I think they were going to throw it for roughing the passer, but he was thrown into the quarterback. Which, by the way to protect your quarterback, 77. 2nd and 6 coming up here now for the Rams from just inside the 50-yard line. Throws. Good defensive play there by the Vikings. That's going to be incomplete. 3rd and 6 coming up here. Gilmore with the pass batted down. Intended for Nacua. 3rd and 6 coming up here. 47 seconds left. The clock is stopped. Rams looking to get maybe a little bit closer here. They want to get at least another 1st down, get a little bit closer, maybe give a chance for a long field goal. Kupp in motion, now goes back. Stafford back, looking to throw, has time, batted down and incomplete. 4th and 6 with 42 seconds left. And now, this is where the Vikings having all 3 of their timeouts helps out tremendously. Snap. Kick is away. Vikings fair catch it, and it's going to bounce at the 4, recovered at the 5 by the Rams, and that is where the Vikings will start. But we have a flag down. Because, of course, we do. Holding on the Vikings. That's going to be half the distance to the goal, which is going to put it at the 2.5-yard line. So from Minnesota, do you just kneel on it? You just run it because you're not getting anywhere with this one. 97.5 yards. You do have 3 timeouts, but and they give it a run here. There's Aaron Jones. Gets it up to about the 5. As the clock is ticking, 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 ticking. And we have a Minnesota player down. Offensive lineman 71, Darisaw, down in the end zone. Looks like he's grabbing his leg, his knee, maybe. So Minnesota will have to take an injury timeout here. Chief Asset in the chat says, how much is a beer and a hot dog nowadays at the stadium? Roughly $80 yet? It depends on which one you're talking about. I was going to say, ELS in the chat says anywhere between $10 to $25, depending on what you're getting. Yeah, most other stadiums are like that. This is why I give big respect to Arthur Blank and the Falcons and how they do stuff there at the Big Butthole Dome in Atlanta. Is their concessions are like, it's like $1.50 for a hot dog. It's like, I think $2.50 for a beer. It's like it's nothing outrageous. And it's like, you're looking at that. It's like, that's the way it should be. And running the concessions. And that's one of the worst things about going to a stadium now. It's like, you want to grab just a hot dog or a beer, it costs you $30. I remember I went to a Devils game a couple of years ago. And I wanted to grab a beer and a pretzel. Beer and a pretzel cost $28, I think, something like that. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. It's like you can't do that. You can't do that anymore. So that's why you either got to pregame or then just decide to drink afterwards. Like, again, me and Jimbo, we're going to the Notre Dame game this Saturday over at the Big HVAC, and like we're probably going to maybe pregame a little bit. But as far as like getting anything in a stadium, no, like it's way too much. Roger Crosby here in the chat. Good to see you, Roger. Thank you so much. Vikings need to win this game. Can't fall into a losing streak. We are better than the Rams. And this is what I mean. This is having this game so quickly after that tough, hard-fought loss that you have with the Lions. It could have been either a good thing or a bad thing. And you know, you can either like move on from it quickly and be like, okay, this is we're pushing past. We're pushing through. We're not, this is all that. Or it turns into a, oh, man, we're tired and we got beat up and, we're not feeling great. Maybe some injuries and maybe things like that as we see poor Christian Darisaw getting helped off to the locker room. Getting helped by a couple people there. Not great. And that appears like he does indeed have a knee injury. So David Queensberry coming in to replace him. And we'll see what the Vikings do here on 2nd and 8 with 21 seconds left. 2 timeouts, and they are just going to kneel it going into victory formation, even though it's not a victory formation. It is what it is. Just kneeling on the ball, bringing this all to halftime. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, halftime. And we remain tied 14-14. Vikings versus Rams. Rams will receive the second half kickoff. And we'll see what happens here. Raj, thank you so much for joining us here, by the way. My name is King, and this is Stay Tuned Sports. If you haven't yet, please give us a subscribe. Helps us out a bunch. Also, hit that like button and share us around as much as you can. That little notification bell, make sure you click that. And on the little drop-down menu, hit all notifications. Let you know whenever we come up. We do these for every single primetime game. Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night. We're always going to do these. Plus, any Giants or Eagles games, we cover as well, as I'm a big Giants fan. My partner here at ST Sports, Stay Tuned Sports, is Jimbo, big Eagles fan. So we will cover that as well. Plus any other games that may be happening if, both Giants or Jets, if somebody's on a bye or if they're both other things, we'll find an interesting game to play. We're usually going to have 2 to 3 games on a Sunday that we'll do. Normally 2, sometimes 3. We'll see how we usually play that by ear. But certainly thank you so very much for that. Red Wings currently up on the Devils 4-3. Fuck. Come on, Devils. What's going on with you boys? Come on. Especially after that game with Tampa Bay where we had Jake Allen let the goal in from all the way down on the other side of the ice. Like that's oof, blah, 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 blah. So I was hoping we get a nice bounce back here against the Red Wings here, but not looking like it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Josh in the chat talking about I forgot how many injuries happened each season. Yeah, well, they happen. They seem to be happening a lot more. And I think a lot of that is how the unions have made it where you can't have so many contact practices, and you can't do the 2-a-days a lot anymore, and you can't, there's no hitting on these days or this early or other shit like that. And it's like, ELS in the chat says, King, by the way, that was an easy win for the, you know what, ELS, kiss my butt. How about that? Kiss my ass. Screw you. That's all right. That's all right. Devils will turn around. It's okay. We got Jack Hughes. We'll do better. We gotta do better. We'll do better. We have to do better. We can't be doing the same shit that we did last year. We can't be doing that. So we gotta turn it around. And as always, Frank the Tank there from Barstool losing his mind. And listen, I don't mind when Frank loses his mind about the Mets, but he needs to shut the fuck up when it comes to the Devils. Like, that's my team. Stop it, Frank. Germany game is week 10. So this is week 8. So we have not next week, but the week after. So we have 2 weeks from now, Sunday, 9:30 in the morning. Is going to be the Giants and the Panthers. And I will be doing that game, believe it or not. So if you want to watch somebody really suffer early in the morning, tune in for that right here on Stage Room Sports. Roger Crosby in the chat. World Series, who you got? I'm going for the Yankees. Yankees versus Dodgers. World Series is finally happening again for the first time since 81. 81, the year I was born. This is the last time you had the Yankees and Dodgers. And now finally here we are 43 years later getting Yankees Dodgers again. And of course me being here in the North Jersey area. Big Yankees fan I am, so let's go Yankees. I'm going to be rooting for the Yankees. I don't know who's going to win it. I certainly, again, hope the Yankees, but when you got Shohei Ohtani there, that's what's up. But we got Aaron Judge, so we'll see how the power versus power works out. I think, again, it's going to come down to pitching, and both clubs kind of have their issues when it comes to pitching. So we're going to see how that works out there, Raj, but much like you, pulling for the Yanks. I'm yanking for the Yanks. Is Devontae complaining about the Jets? I have not seen that. I didn't see him complaining yet. But if he is, I mean, the team sucks. So I mean, they gotta pull it up. They got to do better. They have to do better. Chief Asset reminding us all that the Japanese are pretty good at the baseball. Indeed, they are. DLS in the chat saying the Giants and Panthers super tank bowl. Yeah. Again, I'm hoping the Giants can at least win that game, at least start looking better in that game. I don't know if we will or how we're going to be doing at that point. I'm upset hearing from Mara, as usual, saying that he's not going to fire Shane or Dable, which they should have been fired already. Like, the fact that they still have a job is insane to me. And the fact that he's not going to fire them, not even waiting till I'm not going to fire him at the end. Wait till the end of the season. It's like he's saying he's not going to fire them. He's going to give him another year. Shane needs to not be general manager. He needs to not be the general manager. And I know everybody's going to point to the Saquon thing, and that's a big thing. The Saquon thing is a big thing, especially when it comes to the owner, because you heard the owner even in Hard Knocks talk about how that was going to be a bad thing. ELS, thank you so much for that heartbreaking news in the chat. Red Wings beat the Devils 5-3. Motherfucker! You heard Mara in Hard Knocks talk about how losing Saquon. I have a hard time sleeping if Saquon doesn't come back here, if he's not a Giant or anything like that. Like, I get that. So we know how big, but to me, the biggest thing is losing. The other biggest thing was losing Xavier McKinney and letting him walk, and not re-signing him and getting that at least something on your defense, because our secondary is garbage. Our defensive front not bad, pretty good. Our front seven I like, but our secondary is auto trash. And the fact that we let go of one of the best secondary men in the league for nothing is nonsense. So, again, and the fact that he can't draft, none of his draft picks have been good or worked out. Again, he got Malik Neighbors, but again, we don't know how good Malik can be or not be. And that could, again, a lot of that could be the Daniel Jones situation. If he has a better quarterback, maybe he's better. But he's already starting to show a little bit of attitude already, so that's going to be a problem now. So I don't know. Chief Asset says Devontae should have called Brett Veach before the Jets trade, letting him know that. Here's the thing: the Raiders were never going to trade Devontae. In division trade is never going to happen. That was never going to happen. So as much as great of a pipe dream as that was never going to happen. Of Devontae ending up with the Chiefs. The only way that was going to end up happening is if the Raiders traded him to an NFC team or something, and then the NFC team traded him to the Chiefs for whatever picks or something like that. But there was no way that was going to happen. There's no way the Raiders are going to give one of their biggest and most hated rivals, maybe their biggest and most hated rival, an absolute key piece like that. So that wasn't going to happen. Good thinking, dream thinking, but that's like me dreaming that the Rams will trade Stafford to the Giants and all of a sudden we'll turn things around. It'd be cool, but I don't think that's going to happen. I miss San Diego. They should be San Diego. They got to move back to San Diego. San Diego. San Diego deserves the Chargers. They should have the Chargers. The fact that Spanos is a shit owner, a terrible owner, and I think he's the poverty owner of the NFL. I think he's worth the least amount or something. I don't even know if him and the family there aren't even billionaires. So, not even billionaires. Get out of here. That's what I mean. It's like they deserve to go back to San Diego, and I certainly hope that at some point they do. However that ends up, whether he dies and they're able to move the team or they sell the team or whatever. I hope someday that they get back to San Diego, because that's where they belong. Chargers belong in San Diego. Bottom line, and that's all I gotta say about that. Again, thank you so much for joining us here at Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King. Again, we got some of the new people in here. We had Alyssa in here before. We got Roger in here with us as well now. Rooting for the Yankees. Big Vikings fan, as I see. If you like what you're watching, please give us a like, give us a share, and give us a subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you so very much. It helps us out tremendously. If you want to help us out more directly, we have a link for our donation station and our merch store, both pinned to the top of the chat and underneath this video in the description. Right now, the current leader in the clubhouse is Pecan. He's got us. He's in the lead with $15 donated. If you want to get on the ticker, you go ahead. You donate more than $15, your name gets on the ticker. But again, any and all donations are appreciated, and you will get a shout out. Whoever you are, whenever you do donate, any donations will get a shout out, because we appreciate everything that you guys do to help support us here at Stay Tuned Sports, and me as well. Thank you so very much. Chief Asset said, would you rather win a Super Bowl ring or make money? Tyreek Hill chose money. And yes, I agree. They are the San Diego Chargers. Well, Tyreek got a ring. So he got himself a ring, and then he wanted to get money. So he got a ring and then got money. So at the end of the day, he kind of got both. And you can't argue with that. Miami, unfortunately, is not built right. And here's the other thing, too. I like Mike McDaniel. I do. I really do like Mike McDaniel as a person. But I think seeing him without Tua and his inability to adjust the game plan to the players that he had available to him shows that, again, he's a young coach, and that's something he's got to learn, and maybe he will learn as time goes on. But as a coach, you have to be adaptable. And the great coaches always are. Bill Parcells, he was like that. I think back to the 1990 season with the New York Giants. And Phil Simms gets hurt in, I think, week 12 against Tampa Bay. And, I mean, to that point, he's having like an MVP season. Giants were 10-1, I think, going into that game. And then the rest of the season, we had to start with Jeff Hostetler. And, things didn't, go quite as well. But we still made the playoffs and got into where we needed to go. But the Giants adjusted themselves. Parcells adjusted his coaching style for who he had, because Jeff Hostetler wasn't Phil Simms. But they were able to change themselves, and they ended up beating some of the best teams going into the Super Bowl. They beat San Francisco, who was going for a three-peat, and took care of business against them. Again, with a last-second field goal to win the NFC Championship game in San Francisco, in Candlestick Park, back when the Niners played in San Francisco, or even somewhere near it. And then they beat the Bills, who, going into that Super Bowl, were the far superior team. It was kind of how you would look at almost in 2007, the Giants and Patriots. Like, it was that level of disparity of where people were like, oh, it's cute that the Giants are in here, but they got a backup quarterback, and they barely beat whoever they got. Meanwhile, the Bills were curb stomping everybody. So when you looked at it from that standpoint, it was like, man, they shouldn't have won that game, but they did, because Bill Parcells knew how to coach. Mike McDaniel, sorry, I don't know if he has that, if he's got that ability quite yet. And that's something that he's just going to have to learn, But we've seen that he's got a little bit of trouble with that. So we'll see what happens with Miami. I don't know. Would you want lots of Super Bowl rings or lots of money, meaning more than just one ring and building a legacy? That's a better question. Would you rather be like Tom Brady and have all the rings where he could have been seriously the highest paid player every year, but wasn't, and he kind of deferred money and kept on restructuring his contract so you could sign more people? I think that's a question, but that's never going to be a wide receiver. Wide receivers are never going to choose. Wide receivers are always going to choose money. Always, 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 always. Like, that's, maybe some quarterbacks to keep a team together. Maybe some other players. Maybe a defensive captain will do that. Wide receivers are always going to be, pay me my money. That's always going to be wide receivers. Roger in the chat. Do you remember when I think you guys made the playoffs with Scott Bruner? I think it was after Simms got hurt. That was way early 80s. I was too young for that one. I was still far too young for that one. That's going to be thrown. Caught on first down after the kickoff. Puka Nacua. It's going to be a gain of about 2 yards on that. Maybe 3, depending on the referee spot, as we've just started here in the third quarter. So Raj, like I said, with that one, the first memories I really have of watching Giants football is that run-up in, like, 86 to the Super Bowl, that Super Bowl year that we had there in 86. Again, I was 5 during that year, during that season. So that's the earliest real memories I have of Giants football for me. Big throw down the field, incomplete. Puka Nacua tried to make an absolutely spectacular acrobatic catch, but could not come down with it. Impressive as hell. Kind of did a bit of a swim move. Almost was able to haul that in, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So 3rd and 6, but we do have a flag down. Because of course we do. What was the flag? Oh, did they call it on Nacua for like pass interference? I don't know. They didn't say. Well, they didn't listen. I'm sure they said, but I don't have the volume on because I'll go pegged. I will get pegged by YouTube. YouTube will peg me. Trust me. I don't want that. It hurts far too much. But now we have as many flags as we do have. Each team has points. So 14, 14, 14 here early in the second half. So 2nd and 16, going to be handoff here to Williams. And he's going to gain some yardage here. It's going to be 3rd and reasonable considering it was 2nd and 14. Chief Asset in the chat. What's the ranking by position for most money made? Number 1, quarterback. 2, wide receiver. 3, running back. 4, tight end. 5. Well, we've seen now because Dak's got the highest contract ever in NFL history. So quarterbacks will get it. But here's the thing that I'm saying when it comes to like Brady and people like that is good quarterbacks who have good teams and have a good team mentality usually are never the top paid quarterback. Look at Patrick Mahomes. So 3rd and 9, Stafford back to throw, down the field, caught by Nacua. He got one in. I don't know if he got the second one in. They're going to say he caught it. As of now, they say he caught it. Let's take a look at the videotape. And Puka catches one. He looks like he toe taps. That is indeed a good catch. 1, 2. Yep, got it down. And that's a catch, and that is a first down for the Rams down the field. They might be in Vikings territory. Actually, they're right at the 50. So they're not in any territory right now. They're right in no man's land. Hand off to Williams, and he's going to get down to close to the Vikings' 45-yard line. 2nd and 5 coming up here. Josh in the chat says the flashy and popular players want the money. Yes, that's how it normally goes. And that's what I mean is when you see, like, you'll see a player like Dak or Tua or the other guys like, hey, show me the money. I got my big money. I got a big payday. I'm now the highest paid quarterback here. I'm the highest paid quarterback this. And I'm the highest paid player. I'm the highest paid player. Nah. But then you look back at the other ones like Peyton Manning, like Tom Brady, who won Super Bowls and were always constantly as being one of the top people. Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning. They were never the top paid guys. Big ball down the field. Incomplete. Nacua was intended, but it was actually closer to the Vikings cornerback than anybody else. 3rd and 6 coming up here for the Rams. When you look at successful teams and successful quarterbacks, they're never the highest paid guys. They're the ones that they're paid well. Don't get me wrong; they got big ass contracts, but they'll restructure them. They'll fiddle with them, and they'll find a way to make sure that there's room to make sure you sign the other guys and other pieces on the team because they know they need them to win. And I think that's the biggest thing you have to know is like you need other pieces to win. You can't win on your own. As much as people think you do, you don't. You can't win on your own in the NFL. 3rd and 6, thrown, interception for the Vikings. Picked off Stafford. Murphy Jr. with the pick. Stafford again going for Robinson. Just overthrew him. And the Vikings get the first turnover of the game. 12:08 left here in the third quarter. And they will take over and get their first drive of the second half. That's a good question, Roger. Roger in the chat asking, do you think J.J. McCarthy takes over at quarterback next year for the Vikings? He says it depends on what happens with Darnold for the rest of the season. I think Darnold's only signed for this year. So the way it feels is, again, I think a lot of it does depend on what happens with Darnold the rest of the year. If the Vikings make a deep run, if they get to the NFC Championship game or maybe even a Super Bowl, now you're talking like you kind of can't let Darnold go. And do you have a situation now where, like the Packers had it, where you have J.J. sit a couple of years behind Darnold, and then Darnold goes, or let's say Darnold does well, but the Vikings maybe flame out early in the playoffs, or even if they make it to the NFC Championship game, the Vikings are like, well, we want to move forward with JJ. He's our guy, and Darnold's like, well, I've shown I'm not sitting behind anybody, so I've done my year here, and I can move on to wherever I want to. Well, no, I mean, it is a lot like the Favre and Rodgers to Love situation, where you'd want JJ to maybe sit for a while behind Darnold if he does well. If you're the Vikings, or again, that's going to depend on what the GM wants to do, what the team wants to do, what the coach wants to do, what the owner wants. If Ziggy Wolf wants that, I think there's a lot to consider figuring out. But I believe Darnold only has the 1-year deal currently with the Vikings, and if that's the case, Depending on how the rest of the season goes, and again, if the Vikings want to be like, we want to go with JJ, we drafted him high, we want to see what he has, and all that kind of stuff. And you're like Sam Darnold, that automatically puts you out of the market. And then here's the thing: if you're Sam Darnold, as we're just talking about with the high contracts and high money, Sam's going to make some money. Just based already on how he's played this year, he's going to make money next year. With whoever he signs with, whether it's the Vikings, whether it's somebody else, he's going to make money. So, just whether or not it's with the Vikings is going to be up to the Vikings and how they want to proceed with JJ. If I'm the Vikings currently, and I'm looking at how we're playing with Sam Darnold, how we're being, and again, it does depend on how we're doing the rest of the year, but I would lean more towards let's see what he has there. First down and 10, run for about 3.5, maybe 4 yards here. I believe is that Jones or Chandler? It might have been Chandler. I think you have to keep him. Maybe sign him to a 2-year deal, or 3, 2 with an option maybe, and just be like JJ. Hey, listen, sit and watch and learn more. It's not, blitz off the edge. That's going to be completed. Jones, first down. Darnold took the stop here. There was a blitz off the end, 2-corner blitz there. He did complete it to Jones out of the backfield, and he gets all the way up to the 43.5-yard line. And that's going to be a first down for the Vikings. That's what I mean, Josh. When you look at it from that aspect, 1st and 10, gain of 2 yards for the Vikings on the run. Jones with the carry. When you look at Brady, Rodgers, Love, Mahomes, and I've said this plenty of times on the podcast with Jimbo on the flagship show. My biggest thing, I think more rookie quarterbacks need to sit. In fact, I wouldn't start any rookie. I would have like a professional red shirt. Just sit down. You're not playing, but you sit on the sidelines. You sit in the quarterback rooms. You absorb the game and how different it is, and you learn NFL defenses, and you see the speed, you see the difference, and you get ready. But don't start these rookie quarterbacks. 2nd and 8. That's going to be very close to a first down. They're going to mark it right at the marker. It looks like to be an 8-yard gain, and it looks like it is indeed a first down for the Vikings as they have now crossed over into Rams territory. So that's been a big thing of mine always, is I think rookie quarterbacks need to sit for a little bit, absorb how different of a game the NFL game is than college, and allow yourself for more success. Because I can't tell you how many quarterbacks I think have been good quarterbacks but have gotten ruined because it's been like, get out there and win. And it's like, they don't know the game yet. They don't know. And your C.J. Stroud's first down gain of 2 for Jones on that play. You don't the C.J. Strouds and the Jaden Daniels are very rare. And again, we've had 2 of those now back to back. But even so, you're seeing a little bit of a sophomore slump coming from C.J. Stroud this year, which is still good. He's still good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's all of a sudden terrible. But you're seeing people have actually now been able to see some film on him. They're catching up to him, and he's getting a little bit more trouble. It's not nearly as easy as it seemed like it was for him going next year. And the same thing might happen to Jaden Daniels. But my point is, pressure for Darnold. He does get it away to Jefferson down to the 31-yard line of the Rams. First down and 10 for the Vikings. Those guys, that kind of talent where they can go ahead and just plug right in, are very rare. Those guys are beyond unicorns when it comes to NFL quarterbacks, And you've seen it. And unfortunately, it seems like teams who draft high, who draft the first round, the reason they're drafting so high is because they don't have a quarterback there for somebody to learn from. But my point is, even if you have a mediocre quarterback, having just a veteran NFL quarterback to learn from, to watch. Almost a what? Did he? Whoa! Did he come down with it? They're saying he did. A one-handed juggling catch by Jefferson. It was close to the out-of-bounds mark when he finally got control. It looks like the Vikings are trying to rush to the line to avoid. Oh, look, doesn't have it, does have it. Ooh, that's close. Snap. They do get it off, no challenge. And it's going to be a loss of 3 yards on 1st and goal. So no challenge, no review, no replay on that. But wow, what a hell of a catch. While he's getting his jersey pulled, Justin Jefferson gets 1 foot down, gets the other one down, and then the other one's out. So I think that's a good catch anyway. Unbelievable. Justin Jefferson with an absolute tremendous catch. 2nd and goal coming up here for the Vikings after a 2-yard loss on 1st and goal. 2nd and goal from the 8. Darnold hands it off, and Jones is going to get back to the 5-yard line. 3rd and goal coming up here for the Vikings. Well, here's the thing, and I still believe it. I think that, listen, we saw it 2 years ago how good Daniel Jones can be in a properly called offense with proper protection and proper weapons. Daniel Jones can be a very good quarterback. That's why they signed him to the contract they did. Because that 2022 season, he single-handedly dragged the Giants to the playoffs and won that game in Minnesota. Thrown on 3rd down and goal, incomplete. Jefferson was the intended receiver. Well covered, incomplete. 4th and goal, Vikings look like they're going to go ahead and try for the field goal. So, like, my whole thing with that is, like, I think Daniel Jones is, or could have been a good, but again, Daniel Jones is another one of these quarterbacks that has all the tools and all the great things that you want in an NFL quarterback, but had 3 head coaches and 4 different coordinators and a couple of different head coaching changes in the midseason, and had to deal with so many constant negative things. And then last year he had an offensive line that was actively trying to murder him. And then he got a neck injury and a concussion, and then the ACL tear, and all these other things compounded. Like, the Giants did everything they could to ruin that kid. And 2022 was the only window we got to see of how good it could have been if the Giants were a competent franchise, if the Giants had a competent GM, if the Giants had good coaching the entire time, all these things. Like, Daniel Jones could have been the guy. I mean, he was a great running quarterback. He was a white Lamar Jackson, is what Daniel Jones was. And it's just over time, you get crushed the way he did by the offensive line, by bad offensive play calling, by bad coaching. And then at the end of the day, and then, you have the New York market here where everybody's just like, this guy fucking sucks. Get him off the field. Where's DeVito? Go. All this other stuff. So, and everybody hears that. You hear that. So, by the way, 17-14 here, Vikings now. I think that was the biggest thing when it came to Daniel Jones. So the Giants actually trying to believe in Daniel Jones a little bit and go with Malik Neighbors and see what they could work with him wasn't a bad idea. The problem is that Joe Shane let everybody else go. Again, he let Saquon go, which, again, if you're going to get Malik Neighbors, that's fine, but keep Saquon too. Fix the offensive line, which he didn't do at all in his time here. And now tried to do it this year and still failed. Except we got Thomas, but then Thomas is injured and out for the year, so now we're back to the same terrible offensive line that we fucking have. And yet his pick of Evan Neal, great. You drafted a swinging guarding gate. Thanks a lot, Joe Shane. And that's what I mean. As a Giants fan, I didn't think you could get any worse than Dave Gettleman as a general manager. But Joe Shane has done his best to be worse than Gettleman. So, There's been so many problems around Daniel Jones. The reason the Giants are 2-5, the reason the Giants are the way they are, is not solely because of Daniel Jones. I'll say that. And again, the Giants have destroyed that poor young man, and that's the shame of it. And I certainly hope that he gets to go somewhere else, sit as a backup. Maybe, hopefully, he has a nice redemption story like Baker or Darnold or somebody where everybody's like, oh, this guy sucks. This guy's fucking terrible. This guy's terrible. And then he finally gets a second opportunity somewhere with competent coaching and knows what's going on. And, oh, wow, he's actually good. This is what it could have been this whole time if people knew what the fuck to do. That's what I'm hoping for Daniel Jones in the future. But it's not going to work for the Giants. The same way Barkley didn't work for the Giants. Barkley didn't work for the Giants because the Giants kept on fucking up. And now he's somewhere else where, oh my God, you're looking about how great he can be. And it's like, well, why wasn't he like that with the Giants? Because the Giants are terrible. As an organization, we're terrible. From general manager to coaching to training staff to coordinators to everything. To concession guys. Like the Giants organization is terrible. Like this is don't forget, this is the team that for Fan Appreciation Day, what was that, 2-3 years ago? They gave everybody a medium Pepsi, a flat soda. And Miller said, hey, congratulations for giving us all this fucking money and spending tens of thousands of dollars to be a season ticket holder. Here's a medium Pepsi. What a tone-deaf franchise the Giants are. And that's what I mean. That goes back to the whole Mara comments about how, oh, I'm not going to fire these guys. No, I'm not firing the coach. I'm not firing the general manager after this stuff. It's like, are you kidding me? He didn't trade. That wasn't a trade, Josh. He was a free agent, and it was first of all, you never traded in division, especially to your most hated rival. So that was never a trade. No, that was just Saquon was a free agent, and instead of trying to sign him or get him in the door, at first what Joe Shane said, on 2nd and 8, that's going to be caught by Parkinson, right about a yard short of the first down. So 3rd and 1 coming up here. Instead of signing him, he told him, go see what the market is going to say for you, and then we'll look about signing you. Because Shane thought nobody was going to pay him that money that he was looking for. In the meantime, Chicago and Philadelphia got into a bidding war, and it seemed like Saquon never had another idea of going to anywhere else other than Philadelphia. For that reason of kind of being a big fuck you to the Giants. So... Oh, tried to pass it there to Williams out of the backfield over his head. Incomplete, 2nd and 10. Actually, they gave him a first. Oh, wow, I thought that was 3rd and 1, but they gave him the first down on that previous play. So, whoops, my bad. Either way, 1st and 10, incomplete pass, 2nd and 10 coming up here now for the Rams. Roger Crosby, kind of like Sam Darnold when he was with the Jets. Absolutely. When he was the Jets, everybody made fun of him. Oh, I'm seeing ghosts. Oh, he's the ghost guy. Oh, he's all this stuff. He's terrible. Then he went to the Panthers and was bad there because, again, the Panthers are a bad organization. 2nd and 10. Stafford back in shotgun. Takes the snap back. Looking. Throws. That's going to be caught. Down to the Vikings 41. Atwell, the receiver. And the Rams get a 1st and 10 in Vikings territory, trailing 17-14, 4:42 and counting remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And then Darnold got to be a backup last year in San Francisco. Said the Clara. But there with Kyle Shanahan, a QB guy in that QB room with Brock Purdy, with everybody else there, and got to learn, experience what an actual competent quarterback room is like, a competent offense, competent coaching. And now we're seeing the benefits of his time in that San Francisco quarterback room this year with him in Minnesota because he actually got good, proper coaching. Throwing all the way down the field. Atwell had it in his hands, dropped. 2nd and 10. Good defense there from Minnesota. It was in his hands. Looks like it might have been knocked out. So good defense there from Minnesota, but so close to a touchdown. As we see, Atwell was in motion going to his left. Runs down the field. Yeah, indeed, it was knocked away there by Murphy. Good job. Good defensive play there from Minnesota. 2nd and 10 coming up. But yes, when it comes to something like that, that's how I feel with Daniel Jones. I think if you put Daniel Jones in a competent quarterback room with competent coaching and competent people to rehabilitate him and make allow him to be who he is, I think you can have a Daniel Jones redemption arc. I absolutely 100% believe that. Full start flag on the Rams, and that's going to be flag number 15. For the game here. So now 2nd and 15 coming up here for the Rams. 4:04 remaining in the third quarter. Stafford back to throw. Steps up in the pocket. It's going to be complete to Nacua down to the 27-yard line, and that's a first down for the Rams. Nacua having a big night here in his first night back with the Rams since week 1. Cooper Kupp, not so much, but still a long night. So we'll see what happens. Again, thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King, and it is 1st and 10. From the 27-yard line for the Rams, it's going to be handoff here to Williams, and he's going to get about 1.5 yards. 2nd and a long 8 coming up here for the Rams. Roger Saleh was not a decent head coach. He was a bad head coach. Going into this season, he was 18-33. He got fired after being 20-36. He wasn't a good head coach. If you read any of the Diana Rossini reports coming out of that locker room over the last couple of years, that he had never had control of that locker room. That locker room didn't respect him. He had no control or authority in that locker room. He was a very bad head coach. Big pass here on 2nd and 8. It looks like it is caught. Robinson, touchdown, Rams. And the Rams getting ready to take the lead here. But we have a flag down. Oh, hold on. Woo, let's take the touchdown back here for a second. Woo. What do we have? We have pass interference. Oh, it is on the defense. Never mind. The touchdown does indeed count. That also means the flag number goes up to 16. Not 616. We're not that bad yet. So here comes the extra point. Snap, hold, kick up, and it is good. 21-17. The Rams lead the Vikings here with 2:36 left in the third quarter on Thursday Night Football. But yeah, Rod's like I think the only reason Saleh had a job this year was because of Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Rodgers got him fired. I think Rodgers kept him in having a job. And to be fair, Saleh should have been fired after last year. And if I'm being completely honest with you, Saleh should have been fired after 2022. The fact that he still even had a job there last year was a miracle, and he shouldn't have had a job after last year either. So, I mean, take that as you will, but I don't think Rodgers got Saleh fired. Saleh got Saleh fired because he was a shitty head coach. He's a great defensive coordinator. I think he's a great defensive mind, and I would want to hire him 1,000% as my defensive coordinator, no matter what team I was on. If I'm the Giants, I would love to have Robert Saleh as my defensive coordinator. I don't want him as my head coach, though. He's not a good head coach. He doesn't know how to run a locker room. He doesn't know how to run a team. He can run a defense, but I don't want him in charge of the entire team. And that showed with his record. But they are seeming to cater to him when it comes to the personnel they got. They got Lazard, they got Devontae Adams in the trade. They got all these other people. And the offense has been being run better since they kind of set Hackett, because Hackett's not a good coach. He's the one hire that I think Rodgers had, there. But again, he didn't make the Jets hire them. The Jets hired him to try to lure Rodgers to them. So Like that's a Jets problem. That's not an Aaron problem. Josh in the chat says, "What's the biggest position need in New York with the Giants? We need everybody." Like I said, I would keep Dexter Lawrence, I would keep Malik Neighbors, and I would fire everybody else from top to bottom, from the general manager, assistant GMs, secretaries, coaching staff, trainers, water boys, everybody. Get rid of absolutely everybody and start next year as if I'm an expansion team, and start fresh, because that entire team it needs an enema. It needs a massive overhaul. So it's one big position for the Giants is like nothing's going to help. We need a quarterback, absolutely, but we also need offensive line. We need secondary. We need running back. We need more offensive receivers, more wide receiver ones, outside of just having Malik Neighbors, who's a rookie and shows it. The Giants need a lot. The Giants need a ton of help. Pecan in the chat. I don't believe Purdy has what it takes. You're like Jimbo. You don't believe Purdy's elite. You look at Purdy's numbers. He's an elite quarterback. He really is. And the decisions he makes and the plays he makes, I like Brock Purdy. I do think he is. I think Brock Purdy is that guy. I really do. So we can differ on that, and that's fine. Well, that's fine. Josh in the chat again. Wow, did not expect this game to be so close. The first 5 minutes. I was going to say. Yes, Pecan, even a Waterway. Get rid of everybody. When it comes to the Giants, Dexter Lawrence, Malik Neighbors, everybody else, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, because I don't want ass prints on my door. Out. See ya. Start fresh. Pitch out to Jones here on first down. He's going to get 5 yards on the carry. Second down and 5 from the 35 for the Vikings. And here's the thing. I didn't know the game was going to be this close, and I certainly thought that the Vikings would be in a little bit more control of the game. But again, with the Rams, they cleared Nacua right before the game. They activated him, so you had Nacua and Kupp both active for the game. First time since week 1, both of them have been on the same field. So I think that's a huge difference. And again, it was going to be which one of these teams got the stops they needed. And the Rams have been able to go ahead and get a couple stops here. And that's going to be a gain of 10 yards on 2nd and 5 and a first down now from the 45-yard line for the Vikings. So they get a fresh set of downs here. And again, the Rams were able to hold the Vikings to 3 on their one last drive after the interception. And you thought, that might have been the good stop that the Vikings needed, but they only got 3, and then the Rams come back and get a touchdown on their next drive. So now you've got that switch. Now you've got that where you held them to 3, but you kept up with 7. Now the Vikings have to get 7, but now we're into the way the math goes. We're no longer fighting to either get the lead or get a tie. Now it's going to be constant lead changes. No gain on that run on first down. 2nd and 10 coming up here for Jones. Roger in the chat, big Vikings fan, as we mentioned. Vikings defense, after playing so good the first 5 games, just letting the Rams go up and down the field on them. I don't know why. I just had the feeling this might happen. The Rams were blown out by the Cardinals. Yes, but again, the Rams had a lot of injuries over these last couple of weeks, and now again, offensively, they got a lot of their weapons back. Like I said, with Kupp and Nacua, and the Vikings again playing on a short week. After playing a very tough game against Detroit, divisional game, black and blue division, and that game lived up to that hype. And then you have to come back here on a short week to do this. 3rd and 3 coming up here for the Vikings. 10 seconds left in the quarter. Will they snap the ball? Will they try to get another playoff here? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They are not going to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the 3rd quarter. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. You got to get the 4s up. It is 4th quarter time, baby. Get the 4s up. 4th quarter, 21-17. The Rams lead the Vikings. Maybe not the score you thought, but it's the score we got. As the Rams looking to pull off a Thursday night upset against the 5-1 Minnesota Vikings, who up until just last Sunday were 5-0, one of the only undefeated teams in the NFL. Do the Vikings lose 2 in a row here? Ooh, we got 15 minutes to find out. And yet, like Roger, like I agree with you that it's this feels like it could have been a game like this. Especially after I saw that the Rams had activated Nacua. I was like, this can get interesting. And now here's the other thing. This is the interesting thing. If the Rams win this game, and you're the Rams, you're starting to feel good about yourself. You're starting to move. Does this change your mind about having Cooper Kupp on the trade block? Do you be like, because listen, the NFC West this year, not great. It's really up for grabs for anybody, if we're being honest. Like, nobody's really got the record right now that's pulling away. So if you're the Rams, you win this game, you're right in it. You're right in the NFC West chase. Do I trade Kupp? All of a sudden, I think if the Rams win this game, I think the Kupp trade talks maybe die down a little bit. And then maybe you see what happens in week 9. Because then you're really close to the trade deadline. Because let's see here. The trade deadline is the 5th, which is election day here in America, so that's fantastic. So that's what we have that. And so that's it. The trade deadline is on the 5th, right after week 9. So maybe wait and see what happens in week 9 if you're the Rams. And let's say you win again. And who are the Rams playing in week 9? Let's see. Oh, division game against the Seahawks, too. So if they beat the Seahawks, maybe you don't trade Cooper Kupp. Maybe you're like, hey, listen, especially if you're not going to get a deal that you think is a deal good enough for it. Maybe you stay like, hey, you know what? We'll keep him. We're going to keep him and make a run for this. Thanks, Raj, for getting 4 up there. 3rd and 3. Darnold back throws. Deep pass. He has Aaron Jones caught. First down at the 24-yard line of the Rams. First down and 10 for the Vikings. Caught. Elbow and butt are down inbounds. That's a catch. Ass cheeks count. So here we go. 1st and 10 now. From the 23-yard line. Darnold in shotgun takes the snap. And we got flags. Of course we do. Somebody probably moved or jumped or did fucking something. So we are now at 17 total flags thrown. They're going to say the Vikings called a timeout before the flag. Doesn't matter. Flag was thrown. It counts on my board. So the Vikings are now down to 2 timeouts. Right now, the Commanders are indeed the best team in the NFC East. The Eagles are middling at best. The Giants suck. The Cowboys are, from what we can tell, suck. Right now, the Commanders are the best team in the NFC East, and nobody saw that coming. So that is indeed, I think, maybe the surprise of the year. But when it comes to the NFC, like I said, I think the only serious contenders right now, if you think about contenders like Super Bowl contenders, are the NFC North. I really do. I think that's it. Everybody else is in. Handoff here on 1st and 10. That's where you gain about 4 yards there for Jones. 2nd and 6 coming up. I think the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers are your leading NFC Super Bowl contenders. I'm not ready to throw the Bears in there yet. We'll see. Again, they play the Commanders this week, so we'll see how that goes. And that depends if Jaden plays or not. So, we don't know. But we'll see. You don't know how to quite gauge the Bears yet. So that's why I don't have them there yet. Second down and 6. Hand off to Jones yet again. And that's going to be a gain of about 2.5. So third down coming up again here for the Vikings. But like the NFC South, the Falcons are very inconsistent and can't seem to get out of their own way or grab hold of that division when they have an opportunity. They let the Seahawks come in and absolutely mollywop them in their own home when they had a chance to really grab that division. The Buccaneers, the Godwin injury and Mike Evans injury really hurts them, so I don't know how to really count them right now as far as contenders-wise. 3rd and 4. Darnold's going to step up, throws, incomplete. He had a man open, but bounced right off his hands. Incomplete, 4th and 4. Are they going to go for it, or are they going to settle for a field goal here and make it a 1-point game? Hey, Mr. Coates, welcome here to the chat. Thank you so very much. I said I didn't forget the Bears. I'm saying I'm not ready to put them up in contender territory yet. I'm not. I think there's something there. Again, they've played well, and Caleb has been playing better against bad teams. And like I said, I think that's not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing to maybe for a young quarterback, a rookie quarterback, to get his feet under him. 4th and 4 field goal kick up and good. 1-point game now. Rams 21, Vikings 20 here with 12:47 left in the fourth quarter. But we have to see more from the Bears before I will put them in the contender territory. But, like I said, in the NFC North, I still think the other 3 NFC North teams are the only legitimate contenders in the NFC. Because nobody in the NFC West is. Again, maybe when San Francisco gets healthy, maybe, and they start playing better, once they actually have their actual roster together, maybe I can put San Francisco back up there. But right now, nobody in the NFC East. As cool of a story as the Commanders are, I'm not going to put them in there as a favorite or as a contender yet. Again, that's another team that, let's see, there's still a long season left to go. In the AFC, it's honestly the Chiefs and whoever else. Because, again, the Chiefs have sucked, and they're 6-0. And now you get D-Hop in there. Maybe they'll look to get somebody else as well. Plug a couple other pieces in there. Ow, I got a boogie. I'm not going to eat it like Aaron Rodgers did last week. But if they get better, even a little bit better with DeAndre Hopkins, and if Patrick Mahomes just stops throwing interceptions, who's going to stop the Chiefs? It's crazy. I would want to say the Bills, but the last couple games, even though they won their last 2, they beat the Titans, but they were losing to the Titans 10-0. Josh Allen hasn't played the best, and so where they were looking good after that 3-0 start, they've kind of so it's hard for me to look at them that way. The Ravens maybe, but again, you have to assume that you're going to get playoff Lamar, which means that they're not going to be there at the end. So. And that's how I have to work on that assumption. The Steelers in that defense could be. And if Russ Wilson plays the way he did last week and continues to build off that and maybe gets to old school Mr. Unlimited, maybe you throw the Steelers into that. But again, that's the Steelers or another team you'd have to wait and see. I don't think anybody from the AFC South I would count yet. The Texans, again, they don't strike me as a 5-2 team. They don't look like a hard contender yet, like many people thought they would be in the beginning of the season. And the Colts are just way too inconsistent. Honestly, in the AFC, I think it's the Vikings. The Chiefs, and that's it. I think it's honestly the Chiefs. Roger in the chat says, even if the Vikings get upset tonight, do you still consider them a contender? Yes. Yes. Because, again, it's the NFL season. You're going to have ebbs and flows, dips and whatever. That's going to happen. So, and this one, you're coming off a very tough, hard divisional loss against the Lions, and then you have a very short week to play here against the Rams on the road. You have to fly all the way across the country and do all this kind of stuff. So even if they do lose here, I'm not tossing the Vikings out. I'm not getting rid of the baby with the bathwater, as that goes. Mr. Coach says the Vikings aren't always a serious team. They will do what the Vikings always do. Mr. Coates here, I think, is a Bears fan and kind of likes poking the Vikings here. We have too many men on the field on the Vikings. 5-yard penalty, first down. 1st and 5 going to be coming up here, as that will be our 18th flag thrown. And for everybody who's new in here, by the way, thank you so very much. By the way, if you're new in here and are not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton. Also, give us a like and a share. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the and a notification bell, too. That will help us out tremendously. But when I do the flags, I don't do penalties accepted. I do any flag thrown, even if it's picked up, even if it's waved off, even if it's declined. Flag thrown, it gets counted. 1st and 5, it's going to be thrown out of the backfield there. And a first down here on 1st and 5. Corum with the catch. 1st down and 10 for the Rams from about, the 45-yard line there? Just about. Stafford looks back, throws. That's going to be caught. First down, deep in the Vikings territory. Well, not that deep, but still pretty deep. Shallow deep. I don't know. 1 knuckle deep there into Vikings territory are the Rams, and they're moving the ball here. They're looking to try to expand their lead. Again, they have a 1-point lead here. 21-20. First and 10 from the 38-yard line. Stafford under center. Takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff here to Corum. And he's going to get 2 yards. And 2nd and 8 coming up here. 11-20 and counting here in the 4th quarter. As you see Roger Crosby in here saying, oh no, come on Vikings. We got big Vikings fans in here. If you want to come and join us here in the chat, chat is open. Come and say hi, say hello, say how you doing. My name is King. This is Stay Tuned Sports. And we're watching along here with Thursday Night Football as the Vikings trail the Rams 21-20. Rams are driving currently at the 36-yard line of the Vikings. Stafford, play action, steps back, has time, throws, completes it here to Williams. And Williams is going to get close to the first down. The officials mark him about a yard short. So 3rd and 1 now coming up here for the Los Angeles Rams of Inglewood. As Stafford is doing his sign language to the sidelines. Mr. Coates says, what if the Bears get an A-plus pass rusher by trade deadline? Been rumbles about Crosby and Myles Garrett. Listen, I don't know if Crosby's going to go. Maybe Myles Garrett. Depends on what the Bears want to give up for that and see if that's something that the Browns would be willing to do. But if so, handoff, and that's going to be, it's a matter of mass. Who's stopping who? And I don't think he got there. Stopped short, 4th down coming up here for the Rams. 4th and short, 4th and could be a yard, 4th and inches. He was stopped short. Then the Rams tried pushing like hell to get him over that first down mark. The Vikings were able to stop him. 4th and inches. The Rams appear to be going for it. Mr. Coates says, bear down, Chicago Bears. 4th and inches. It's going to be a handoff, and he almost got stopped in the backfield, but Williams is able to go ahead and get a gain of about 3 yards. First down for the Rams. Keep the chains moving, and the clock keeps ticking. Approaching 9 minutes on the board right now, if you're following along with us here. Mr. Coates just appears to be antagonizing the Vikings fans in here. He's doing the old divisional yelling, saying that the Vikings are going to lose. We'll see. We'll see here, Mr. Coates. We will see. Roger Crosby, of course, a big Vikings fan in here, willing his Vikings on the victory. Who will get the victory? Will it be the Vikings or will it be not the Vikings, as Mr. Coates hopes for? 1st and 10, it's going to be a loss of about a yard for the Rams. 2nd down, but the clock is ticking. Here's the thing, Mr. Coates. When you look at, like, you never know until the end how games go. Like, it might feel like it's going away, and then all of a sudden, Big Mo switches. And the other team gets momentum, and the next thing you know, something happens. A turnover can happen, a big stop on a 4th down, or a blocked field goal, something. Any number of things can happen. So that's what you never know. When it comes to this stuff, you never truly know how a game is going to go or how it's going to end, even if you think it feels like it's going a certain way. 2nd and 11. Stafford, big throw down the sidelines, throw for Kupp. He catches it, but I don't know if he's out of bounds. A couple flags are down, though. Will this be pass interference on offense or defense? Kupp seems to be walking back towards the huddle, so I don't think this is going to be on the Vikings. This might be on that. We are at 19 flags thrown total for this game. As I said, not accepted penalties. These are all flags thrown. Doesn't matter if they're picked up or not. And they are calling pass interference on the Vikings. Automatic 1st down, 1st and goal from the 5. Oh, my dear sweet Lord. Where are you calling that? It had to be somewhere else in there. Because if you're calling pass interference on that, that's an absurd call. That's an absolutely absurd call. You can't call that. Agreed, Pecan. Like, you can't call that. Oh, they must have called it somewhere else, because that's unbelievable. They must have called. Yeah, it looks like they called it further up the field. They called pass interference. I don't know. That's a bad call, in my opinion. So either way, 1st down and 10. It's going to be a gain of about no yards. It's going to be actually a loss of a yard on that run. 2nd and 11 coming up here for the Rams. 7:24 and counting here in the 4th quarter. I don't think Crosby's going to go anywhere, if I'm going to be honest. I think the Raiders are going to try to keep him as a piece to rebuild around, even though he says he's not there to rebuild. Hand off to Williams. He's going to get down to the 10-yard line where he's finally tackled. So 3rd down and about 4 coming up here for the Rams. The Vikings desperate to hold it. If they can hold them to a field goal here, the Vikings will only be down 4. A field goal here is 100% a win for the Vikings. 6:37 and counting here in the 4th quarter. Stafford in shotgun. Puka and Kupp to his left. Play clock under 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. He gets the snap off. Does Stafford. Looks. Throws to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! 2nd touchdown of the game for Robinson. And the Rams, depending if they go for 1, it'll be a lead of 8. If they go for 2, it'll be a lead of 9 and a 2-possession game. Which one will they choose? Interesting decision here from the Rams. Let's see where they decide to go. Robinson wide open in the back of the end zone. Stafford having himself a game. I believe that's his 3rd touchdown pass. They're going to go only for the 1 to make it an 8-point game. Snap, hold, kick. It is up and it is good. So still just a 1-possession game. 28-20. The Vikings can get a touchdown and 2-point conversion and tie this game up. But they have to get a touchdown on this next drive. Let's see what happens. And indeed, like Mr. Coates says, I don't want to. This isn't actually saying anything bad or negative about the Vikings, but we are going to find out Indeed, what Sam Darnold and these Vikings are made of. Coming up here. You're dealing with adversity. You're dealing with being down by a touchdown. You have to try to get something here. If they can get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion on this drive, it'll show they'll show how gutsy this team is. So you got to show. If they go 3 and out, that's going to be a conversation for the sports talk radios. That'll be lighting up the Twin Cities radio market, if you will, and Dan Patrick show in the morning and all that jazz. Talking heads will talk about like whether the Vikings are soft, are they indeed a fraud, can they handle adversity, all that stuff. But if they get it, this is what I mean. This is a drive that can define a season. Even if eventually the Vikings end up losing this game, if they show fight and if they show their ability to drive on this drive and get down there and tie this game up, it will show a lot. But we're going to see what happens here. About 6 minutes left here in the game. Can the Vikings pull this off? We'll see. We'll see. I'll be impressed. I will be impressed if they do. I'm surprised by the go for one. I'm surprised by the going for one. I would say go for 2 and make it a 2-possession game because either way, either up by 7, which means if they score, they'll go for the extra point and just tie it. Like you're not going to be down, no matter what. So I would have went for 2 to make it a 2-possession game, to where okay, they even score a touchdown on this next drive, they still need to then like get an onside kick or stop you defensively, which they've shown a real trouble of doing in this game. To then get a field goal. It's a little bit risky, but I think the risk is mitigated by the fact that even if you don't get the 2 points, you're still leading 27-20. You're still leading by a touchdown. So even if they go down the field here and score, they're still going to just tie the game. And that's going to be a dynamic touchback here. And the Vikings will start at the 30-yard line. By the way, thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. I am your boy, King. We're here every single primetime NFL game, Thursday nights, Sunday nights, and Monday nights. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to help us out more directly, by the way, first of all, give us a like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you so very much. And if you do want to help us out more directly, links for our donation station and our merch store are in the top of the chat. They're pinned up there. Also, they are underneath this video in the description. Please go check those out. And, if you want to help us out, help support your boys here. So 1st and 10. Darnold back to throw. Has time. Steps up in the pocket. He throws. He's going to get that to his tight end. Big play down the field, down to 50, down to the 45. Oliver down to about the 46, 45-yard line of the Rams. 1st down and 10, and they are in Rams territory, are the Vikings. One play in Rams territory. Vikings looking to go ahead and tie this game up with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Oliver and company there with a great run. Takes the hit, takes the lick, gets a couple extra yards there. 1st and 10, 5:40 and counting here in the 4th quarter. From the 45-yard line, Darnold under center. Takes the snap, hands it off to Jones, and Jones is going to get 2 yards before he's stopped. 2nd and 8 coming up here for the Vikings. From the Rams' 43-yard line, clock is ticking. 5:20, 5:19, 5:18, 5:17. Vikings right back into formation. Darnold in shotgun. Upping the tempo here. Darnold back to throw. Getting rushed. Gets pressured, sacked back at the 40-yard line of the Vikings. Big loss. So 3rd and now very long for the Vikings. As the protection just broke down, and it was a jailbreak on Sam Darnold And he had nowhere to turn, nowhere to go. So here we go. 4:26 and counting left here in the fourth quarter. Snap. Darnold back. Looking to throw. Throws down the field to nobody in particular on 3rd and 21. Incomplete. So that sack really just destroyed the Vikings. 4th and 21. 4:18 left to go. They're going to have to punt. They only have 2 timeouts. So 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. Can the defense step up here for the Vikings, or will the Rams solidify this game and just put it away? As I lost the ability to speak English there for a second, which happens. It happened. It's been a long day. But here's the punt for the Vikings. It is away, and it's going to be fair caught at the 19-yard line of the Rams. 4:11 left on the clock in the fourth quarter. It is getting down a squeaky bum time for the Vikings. 28-20. The Rams with the lead. Not a lot of people picked the Rams before this game. As a matter of fact, let me check what the percentages were on the public picks here. Because I guarantee you a lot of it was not going towards the Rams. Let's see here. Indeed, 93% of the picks were on the Vikings. Only 7% of people picked the Rams. So a lot of people thought that the Vikings were going to go there into SoFi Stadium and salt this one away. Instead, the Rams have showed up with Puka Nacua. Puka has had a good game here in his first game back since week 1 versus the Lions. Stafford has had a good game, 3 touchdown passes, 1 interception. And the Vikings, here in the second half, it was looking like that first half was a good haymaker for haymaker fight. And the second half, they have not been able to seem to get anything quite going. Only 2 field goals, which got them to the 20 points. And still down just 1 possession, just 8 points. They get a touchdown, 2-point conversion. It is indeed a tie game, but the Rams have the ball. There's under 5 minutes left. There's actually almost under 4 minutes. 4:11 was left here in this game. Vikings only have 2 timeouts left and the 2-minute warning. Will they be able to go ahead and pull off a hell of a comeback here to at least get it to overtime? That's going to be a big thing. Referees, also, they're having a big night. 19 total flags thrown. Again, that's not penalties accepted. That's just total flags thrown. I count them all, whether they get picked up, no matter what it is. If a flag is thrown, even if it's by accident, if it falls out of a referee's pocket, it gets counted. That's how I do it. That's why it's a flag counter, not a penalty counter. So let's see. Will the Vikings be able to... 31st game for Justin Jefferson with 100-plus yards receiving. He's had a hell of a game, but the Vikings still find themselves down 8 points. Hand off to Williams here on first down. He's going to get a gain of 2 yards. 2nd and 8 coming up here for the Rams as we will get under 4 minutes. Now we've hit the 4-minute mark, and we are continuing to count down. 3:50, 3:49, 3:48, 3:47 here in the fourth quarter. 2nd and 8. Sean McVay looking intense, as always. Stafford under center. Robinson in motion. It's going to be another handoff to Williams, and this one's going to be a yard loss. So 3rd and 9 coming up here. Maybe 3rd and 10, depending on the spot, but I imagine it'll be 3rd and 9. And timeout by the Vikings with 3:26 left. Let's see what happens here. The Vikings can get a stop here. They can get the ball back with some time. And again, they'll have the timeout there, which they can even stop the clock there. Then they'll still have the 2-minute warning. So this is not over yet. The Vikings need to get a stop here, though. Because if they don't get a stop here, then time's going to run out. But here we go. 3rd and 9, 3:26 left. Stafford in shotgun, looking to throw. He's back there, has plenty of time protection. Big throw down the field. Caught! Cooper Kupp down to the 47-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Rams. And now time's going to start being a little short here for the Vikings. You got 1 timeout left and a 2-minute warning. You see Justin Jefferson shaking his head on the sidelines. Cooper Kupp with maybe the biggest play that he's had all game, and in what a spot to have that play. And so the Vikings will take their final timeout here. So there's 3:17 left. It's a fresh set of downs here for the Rams. So now the Vikings only have the 2-minute warning to stop the clock. That's what I'm thinking, Pecan. I'm thinking if the Rams win this game, you won against the Vikings. Again, with the way the NFC West is, like all of a sudden the Rams went from maybe they'd be sellers because everybody's injured to, I don't know. I think I'm going to hold on to everybody and see how this plays out. If I'm the Rams, I think that's how that goes. Roger in the chat says it's looking like we're going to have a loss tonight. We got to win next week versus the Colts. What had me concerned last time was we were starting 5-0 is that we ended up 8-8 and didn't make the playoffs. I'm hoping that's not the case here again, I'm not a Vikings fan. Me being a Giants fan, I don't have one thought or another. I know a guy who's a Vikings fan. He's kind of a dick, but not you. You're Roger. I think you're a cool guy. So it's not you. I happen to know somebody personally in my life though that is a Vikings fan and also a dick. So but I still don't have any ill will towards the Vikings. 1st and 10. That's going to be a no gain there for Williams on 1st down. So 2nd and 10 as the clock will tick 3:06, 3:05, 3:04. The clock is ticking away here on the Vikings in this game. So again, I held no ill will for the Vikings. I certainly hope that doesn't end up the case where they end up, missing the playoffs or lose a whole bunch of games in a row. I certainly hope that doesn't happen. And I don't think it will. Again, I think the good thing about this is that this is a Thursday night game, so now you have 10 days off. It's basically a mini bye week here. End around here to Puka Nacua, and he's going to lose some yardage. He tries to get down in bounds, and they say he does, keeps the clock moving. 2:28, 2:27, 2:26. The Rams don't have to run another play until the 2-minute warning, so that will take care of that, and it'll be 3rd down. It'll still be 3rd and long, but it'll be under 2 minutes, or be at 2 minutes exactly when they run a 3rd down play here. 3rd and 12 when the 2-minute warning hits, and we are there now. 2-minute warning at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. The Rams hold a 28-20 lead on the Vikings with the ball. 3rd and 12. Rams looking to salt this game away. The Vikings, no timeouts, desperately hoping to get the ball back for a chance to come back. Turn out, the old Dandy Don Meredith. Turn out the lights, the party's over. And they say that all good things must end. Let's call it a night. The party's over, and tomorrow, I forgot the words there for a second. And tomorrow starts the same old thing again. There we go. Now I got it. I can't believe I fucked up the end of it. But I wouldn't say yet. You have to say, again, 3rd and 12. It's a 2-minute warning. If the Rams try to pass it and it's incomplete, or it goes, you get stops somebody out of bounds and they're short of the 1st down, that stops the clock there. Then you get the ball back on a punt. Like there's still time. You still got a chance. I gotta keep you into it. Come on. It's still there. Have some belief. Yeah, I gotta have belief in you guys. Come on. And you never know, it could happen. Now, if they get a first down on this 3rd and 12, then we can start singing Dandy Don here. But I do love Reese's. I love Reese's Pieces more than I love Reese's Cups, but I love Reese's Cups. That's not to say I don't like Reese's Cups. I love Reese's Cups. I like Reese's Pieces, though. I know a lot of people are iffy on Reese's Pieces. I love them. Really, I like anything with peanut butter. Let's be honest. Peanut butter is one of the greatest foods ever made. Stafford has played very well tonight. Outside of the one interception where he kind of overthrew Robinson on the side, it's been one hell of a game from Matthew Stafford, which, again, is going to piss off my sister-in-law because she, for some reason, hates Matthew Stafford. And I don't know why. She's hated him ever since he's with Detroit. She cannot stand him. She does not like him, and I have yet to get an actual reason from her why. Because I think Matthew Stafford's like one of the coolest guys. He's an all right guy. He's like one of the nice guys, right? She can't stand him. So I have no idea what's going on with my sister-in-law. I don't know why she hates him so much, but maybe one day, Robin, you'll be able to tell me why. I have no idea. And the Jets, what is it with the New York teams and all the primetime teams? Can we stop showing New York teams on the prime? Like, the Giants do not deserve to be on Monday night. Just any Giants game needs to be immediately flexed off of any primetime schedule. Please, for the love of God. Please. So here we go. 3rd and 12. Stafford in shotgun. Takes the snap. Throws. It's going to be completed to Kupp. Out of the backfield, he's going to be short. And they say he's out of bounds. So the clock stops with 1:53 left. And this is what the Vikings needed. It's 4th down. Clock stopped. 1:53 left. And just what they needed. Where are they going to say? Where is he down? Is the knee out? I can't tell from that angle. Let's see. Where's Kupp's body? Ankle is out of bounds. That's out. Yep. So 4th and 3. The clock is stopped at 1:53. They are going to punt here. And the punt is away. And that's going to go out of bounds. Not exactly sure where. Let's see where the referee decides to mark it. He's going to mark it at the 3. I thought it might have been a little further up than that, but apparently not. At the 3-yard line. So the Vikings have to go 97 yards. That looked like it might have been out at the 5, to be honest. Either way, 95 or 93. Raj, game 1 is in L.A. tomorrow, by the way. It's at Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium. Dodgers have home field. They have the first 2 and the last 2, if it goes that far. 1st and 10. Darnold back, looks, throws. It gets short hopped on. It was supposed to be, I guess, a comeback route for Addison, but he slipped. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. But we have a flag down, and we've hit 20. We've hit the magical 20. And illegal formation on the Vikings, half the distance. Oh, actually, it's declined. They decline it. Doesn't matter. Flag counts on my thing because it was thrown. So 20. Oh, 20. You spelled it like a New Yorker says it. Otani, 50-50 ball sold for $4 million. Jesus Christ, $4 million? Fucking Christ. I need to catch more balls. Not like that, you sickos. 2nd and 10, 1:42 left here. They're calling it the 5-yard line. All right, so it is 95 yards. Darnold back to throw. He's got time. He got sacked in the end zone. It's a safety. And that is the end of it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is over. Darnold screaming that there was a face mask. Let's take a look. Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, it was how do you not throw that flag? You have to throw that flag. Of all the flags that they've thrown tonight, you don't throw it on an obvious face mask? Oh my God. And they're really not. They're just calling it a safety, huh? Wow. That's absurd. That's, wow. And the Rams get the safety punt, so that ends it. But wow. Listen, I'm not saying the Vikings were going to be able to come back. I'm not saying anything like that. But that's 15 yards and a fresh set of downs. And keeps the Vikings at least alive and in the game. And instead, wow, that's fucking atrocious. And again, the NFL they throw 20 flags in this game. And some of these calls that were, especially against the Vikings, were atrocious calls. Some of the pass interference or the defensive holding calls were really bad. And then you get that play, and you don't throw the flag? First of all, it was hands to the face of a quarterback, which is roughing the passer in every other game against any other quarterback. And it's a clear face mask, and you still, that's an embarrassment for the NFL. For all the flags that they do throw, the one that they should, they don't. That's amazing. That's atrocious. And again, I'm not saying that the Vikings were going to march down the field and tie the game up. But they still would be alive. There'd still be a chance, and you'd have a great end of the game. Instead, the refs fuck it up. And no, Mr. Coates, that's not on Sam Darnold. That's the refs, man. That's a bad ref call. And even you, Mr. Bears fan, have to admit that. That's fucking atrocious. I know you don't care. It's a rival, so it's fine. You laugh at the rivals. But even if it is a rival, you have to admit that that's atrocious to not call that penalty. We kind of do what is an onside safety punt there, but doesn't matter. Williams picks it up, and that's gonna be it. The Rams can go ahead and kneel on this and end this game. I was going to say, here you go. And this is, I think, how you have to look at it, Roger. And I think this is a great way to look at it. So good for you for kind of looking at this as the half glass full. Nobody got injured. You're kind of hitting your mini bye week here. You're 5-2 after week 8 here. After you've already had a main bye week, and now here's a mini bye week for you, which helps. It's still, if you would have said when this season started, if the Vikings would be 5-2 after week 8, you would have taken that in a heartbeat. And yes, pecan. Again, I think outside of some bad Dable fucking choices, the Giants should be 5-2. So 5-3. But we have a shitty coach and a terrible GM, so we are where the fuck we are. But be that as it may, I think the Giants actually should have been there. And if the Giants were 5-2 or 5-3, I'd take that in a heartbeat. And I think a lot of Vikings fans going into this season with Sam Darnold, you had JJ injured, you're like, oh, this is going to be just how it is. You had your injuries on your defensive side before in training camp. I believe you had a rookie corner die before training camp. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, the Vikings had a lot of shit happen to them. Before training camp even happened, where you're like, oh boy, how is it going to be this year for the Vikings? So 5-2, I think, for this point of the season for the Vikings, yes, it's 2 straight losses. But to be 5-2 here, I think that's not a bad spot, and I think any Vikings fan would have agreed to that before the season started. I 1,000% think that. So again, I think Roger Crosby there in the chat is taking this in the right perspective. Nobody got seriously injured in this game. Your offensive lineman might have been injured badly. We'll see. Hopefully he's okay. But no skill player injuries, no Justin Jefferson, no Addison, no Aaron Jones injury, no Sam Darnold injury. So none of the skill player injuries that, so you escaped that. You now got 10 days off before, who you got next? The Seahawks or somebody like that? For the Vikings. So you're not like the Vikings are still in a good position. They're still in an advantageous position. And again, the NFC North is gonna be a dogfight. No matter how it went. Even if the Vikings won this game, it was still gonna be a dogfight. And it still will be. You still got a game against the Lions you gotta play. You still got a game against the Packers. You gotta play the Bears twice. So there's gonna be a lot of teams that knock each other off and do all this stuff and everything like that. And the Saints, yes, the Saints would love to be 5-2. The Giants would love to be 5-2. There's a lot of teams out there right now that would kill to be 5-2. And like I said, if you asked, I think, any Vikings fan before the season, if at this point after week 8 you'd be 5-2, yeah, I think you'd take it. I think 1,000% you'd take it. But that is the end of the game. The Rams win, surprisingly, 30-20 with the upset win over the Minnesota Vikings, as the Rams go ahead and they improve their record, and especially in the NFC East, NFC West, as they are now 3-4. So the Rams 3-4, but in the NFC West is let's see, let's pull up the standings here. Currently, that puts the Rams at 3-4. Everybody else is 3-4 as well, except for the Seahawks, who are 4-3. So the Rams are right there. That's what I mean. And depending how the other games go this Sunday, they're right into it. And much like Pecan said, and like I was saying beforehand, if I'm the Rams, I think I'm taking Kupp off the block. Yeah, that's what I mean. The Vikings had so much unfortunate things happen to them. Like I said, you start off everything with your 4th round pick, died. Like you had a death before the season even started, and then you had 2 season-ending injuries in training camp, like on the first day of training camp, and then J.J. McCarthy, rips his knee up in the first game where he looked good in the preseason game, and it's like, oh, okay, J.J. McCarthy, we got a guy, and then he gets injured, and it's all these things. And then Mr. Coates continuing to be an antagonistic kind of a... Mr. Coates, the only thing I would remind you is that you're a Bears fan. So, pump the brakes. That's the only thing I would say. I know you're having fun, poking fun at the Vikings, something like that. You're a Bears fan. So, let's relax. Incredibly enjoy listening to me. I loved having you in the chat. Thank you so much, Raj. And I certainly hope to see you in here more often during the games. Again, we'll be back in here on Sunday, depending on whether or not Jimbo is going to do this with us. We might be doing the Eagles game, and if not, I might do... I'm trying to think. There was a 1 o'clock game I might do, but it might not be Eagles. I might do another 1 o'clock game. Let me see, what are the... If Jimbo is with us, if Jimbo decides to do the game with us, because again, he's having a procedure, I think, on his tooth, so we'll see if he's up to talking for, 3.5 hours. Let's see. What is the Week 8 schedule here? Let's see. Packers, Jaguars, no. Cardinals, Dolphins, no. Jets, Patriots, no. Ravens, Browns, no. Falcons, Buccaneers. I might do Falcons, Buccaneers. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a 3 stream on Sunday. Maybe I'll do Falcon Buccaneers. Maybe I'll do Bears Commanders, and then I'll do Sunday night Cowboys Niners. And then Monday night, I'll have to do Giants Steelers. Oh, God, I don't want it. I don't want to do any more Giants games. But maybe I'll do that. It's either I'll do Falcons Buccaneers, or I'll do Bears Commanders, or I'll do both. And that's if Jimbo joins us, then we're doing Eagles Bengals. That's going to be the 1 o'clock game, and that's what we'll do. But we'll see. We'll kind of play it by ear on Sunday. You'll find out. I'll make sure I post it with enough time on Sunday, and I'll post it in all the regular places on our Facebook, on our Twitter, X Twitter, whatever it is, in the Discords. I know some of you guys are from the Discord. Some of you guys follow us on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. All those links will be put out there so you know which ones we're doing, and I'll let everybody know which ones we're going to be doing. Pecan in the chat, I used to talk trash when the Saints were good. I miss those days. Listen, I remember where, the Giants used to play very well against the Eagles. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've been able to talk shit on Eagles fans or Cowboys fans or anybody. The Giants haven't been able to talk shit about anybody or anything in the last 13 years. So, not great. So I feel you on that one, Pecan. But that's what I mean. You got to know, you got to realize what your place is. And, listen, I understand, being a Bears fan there for Mr. Coates and being a rival of the Vikings and all that stuff. But you're a Bears fan. Know your place for now. And then move on from there. Talk shit, but reasonably. That's the only advice I could ever give. If you're a fan of a team that maybe isn't doing so great, you can still talk shit against your rivals 1,000%. That's part of the fun of sports and football, is talking shit with your rivals. But talk shit responsibly. But there we go. Again, I think the NFC West is completely wide open, as they're showing the standings right now on Amazon, where he's got everybody at 3-4 except for the Seahawks at 4-3. But that division is wide open. And if I'm the Rams, you got Nacua and Kupp back. You played well. You got a surprising win against the Vikings. I would take that, and I would maybe take Kupp off the block, man. I'd say I'd keep him around. Maybe maybe the trade talks there start to die down. Either that, or I start asking a lot more. I'm like, all right, well, it was a 2. Now I want a 1 or a 1 plus assets or whatever. Make it something ridiculous. And see, if somebody's going to give you a ridiculous haul for it, an offer you can't refuse, then maybe you listen to it. But for now, if I'm the Rams, keep them. Keep them. See what you can do in the NFC West there. You might be able to win that division. So we'll see. But that's going to do it for now. For Thursday Night Football, Rams 30, Vikings 20. This has been Stay Tuned Sports. I've been your boy King. It's been fantastic hanging out with you. By the way, one last time before we get out of here, if you haven't already, please hit that like, share, and if you're not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell, and on that drop down, make sure you hit all notifications. If you want to help out more directly, we have links for our donation station and our merch store down in the description below. You can hit that, check that out anytime you want. And again, any and all donations are appreciated. You get a shout out. If you want to get in a ticker, it has to be more than $15. Pecan is our leader in the clubhouse right now. $15 donated. You want your name in there? You got to up it. So that is how that stands right now. But again, thank you so very much for everybody who's watched, everybody who supports us here at Stay Tuned Sports. It's been fantastic. Until Sunday, where we'll do this all over again. Probably in the 1 o'clock hour. But again, I'll let you guys know what games we will be doing on Sunday. I'm your boy King. This has been Stay Tuned Sports. Thank you so much for joining us. See you later.